interwebs. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight to the third stop of the National Boulder Cup. We are in Austin, Texas at Crux Climbing Center, and we are ready for a wonderful show. So thank you guys for tuning in.
And hi guys, I'm Joel Zaire, joining Kevin here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the scores from last night's qualifiers. Looks like in first place we have Nathaniel Coleman, followed by Nick Milburn. A bit of a dark horse after that, Ross Fulkerson, and then Keenan Takahashi, Ty Landman, another dark horse, Gregor Vezanik, followed by Carlo and Dan Beal.
As you could see earlier, there are some really strong names that couldn't quite cut it. So on the female side, we definitely have some more recognizable names. So we're going to start it off with none other than Miss Alex Puccio, followed by Kyra Condi, Ashima. I will say this is Ashima's first Cup series, so that's very exciting. We have Brooke Rabitou, Maya Madere, Claire Burfind, Sienna, and closing out the round is going to be Natalia Grossman. Also, some insanely strong women that weren't able to make the cut. So we're looking forward to a great show tonight.
Looks like they're getting the crowd hyped right now. Bring out the athletes, introduce them.
And if you guys can't see right now, the crowd, it is packed in here, jam-packed. So we are excited for a wonderful show. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you can start seeing around. It is hard to find a place. It is hard to find a place to sit right now, so it's getting exciting.
If this is the first National Cup that you're tuning into, you might notice all the point values on the climbs, and that's how the climbers are scored. There's 3 zones and a top, so 5 points for the first 3 zones, and the top you get awarded 10 more points for a total of 25, so you can keep track of the climbers' scores as you go. There will also be updated scores throughout the round.
Thank you for that, Joel. Yeah, so the idea behind this scoring system ideally is to make it a little easier for the general public to follow. I had an opportunity to route set for the finals here, as well as Gregor, Ben Edwards, and Chris Lacrosse. So we had a really wonderful crew and an awesome week of setting. And this new scoring system was fun to work with, and we hope it works out. So we'll keep you updated, and thank you guys again for tuning in. We're doing the athlete introductions right now for the women. Actually, here comes Dan Beal, dark horse from California. So,
yeah, Dan was actually really impressive last night. Put on a good show, and he hasn't had stronger comp results in the recent past, but it was cool to see him pull it together and get up some the harder stuff yesterday, and it's cool to see him in finals.
Yeah, so Joel, I know you competed in the qualifying round. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How was it?
Yeah, I did. It was brutal. Yeah. It was a bloodbath. It was I would say it was one of the harder qualifiers of the series so far, and I think every year it's just going to get harder and harder. There's so many young athletes, so many talented athletes that can qualify on both the men's side and women's side. But I had a lot of fun competing. The setting was great. Just the vibe was great, and the gym was really fun. A lot of cool angles, so it was a great time.
So full discretion, I am the owner of this gym and the director of route setting, so I will probably be speaking very biasly here, so keep that in mind. But no joke. Some of the men here are not household names, and that's just a testament to how strong this male category has gotten. Even the female category, it looks like Alex might, correct me if I'm wrong, Joel, is Alex the oldest competitor here for the females?
I believe she is. She might have been the oldest in the Open in general. I'm pretty sure she's the oldest for the finalists. But yeah, she might have been the oldest competitor.
And that is a crazy thing to think about because, well, she's not really that old. So it's awesome to see the level of competition in these young kids, just fearless, going at it with some of the best in the world. So, yeah, we're really excited. I think the problems turned out well, and we hope you enjoy the show. So, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Me and Joel will do our best to guide you down the competition scene.
Yeah, so as Kevin mentioned, there's a lot of young talent coming up. And this year, I mean, I noticed it a lot last year, but this year more so than last year. There's a lot of young athletes committed to the series, and I've seen a lot of familiar faces at each stop so far, and it's really cool. The cutoff is 16. You have to be 16 in order to register for the Cup Series, and I think over half the field these days is
probably right in that age range. Yeah, so.
Like teenagers. So, and they're all really strong. They've been competing since a young age, and it's really cool to see some new talent on the scene.
So for you guys maybe that aren't familiar with what's going on right now, the females and males are going through the problems. We call it a preview. And this is a really interesting one. Some athletes enjoy the process, some athletes don't. But yeah, essentially they're able to see the problems they're about to climb on. And, you know, as a competitor, you have to be really cognizant of what's going on. Do you give your beta away? Do you talk about it? It's a big deal. Joel can probably speak more to that. But yeah, they're just doing route previews right now. And then as soon as that's done, we're going to get into the big show. So.
Yeah, they'll take them through each boulder. Give them, it's usually 2 minutes to review the boulder. And just like Kevin said, it's up to them whether they want to discuss beta or keep it to themselves. Sometimes you see things that other people might not, that might give you an advantage. And, people approach it differently. Some are really competitive and don't want to give away anything, and others don't mind so much and want to discuss what they see with another person to maybe get confirmation that it could be a good decision as far as, choosing the right sequence.
So there's some definitely good storylines in this one. The qualifying round was definitely pretty tight. Like I said, Ashima, this was her first. I don't want to say. I'm not sure if it's her first National Cup Series. Just overall, it's only been happening this is the second year, but this is definitely her first one of the season. So I know a lot of Austinites were very excited to see her in action, and she definitely proved her strength. She's, I think, right now in third place, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it looks like she qualified in third. In the past, I've seen Ashima in those red point style qualifiers maybe not perform to her strengths as much. I think that this on-site round that we have right now in finals, this format suits her strengths a little bit more, so it could be really interesting to see what happens with the females. It's one of the more stacked finals rounds for the women that I've seen so far.
Yeah, so one interesting fact about the gym in general, so most competitors, I think High Point will be the next stop in January, so most people from this Cup Series have competed at that gym and a couple of other gyms, and they know the angles they're walking into. Obviously, the route setters are trying to be as creative as possible, but one unique feature about Crux Climbing Center is the wall they're on right now, we actually change that every 6 months, so we usually have a big comp in May, and so a lot of these competitors like Claire, Maya, who are Texas locals, are never going to see the same wall again. So this is really, really exciting. Hopefully we do the Violet Crown next year. And if you're on social media, #Violet Crown, let us know what you think. So next time they come around, they're not going to see the same wall. So this is a really fun opportunity for the athletes as well as those spectating. So looks like they're on number 3 right now. And then, we've got 4 problems for the men and 4 problems for the women. So the big show should be starting here pretty soon.
I think one thing that's interesting to note is that on the men's side, 3 of the 8 finalists tonight were at the first 2 comps. 3 of the 8 finalists at the first 2 comps also made it to finals here, and those include Carlo, Nick Milburn, and Nathaniel. And 4 of the 8 from the first 2, Alex Puccio, Brooke Rabitu, Maya Madeira, and Natalia Grossman. And with only 1 comp left before nationals, this puts these athletes in a great ranking position for the overall season. But we'll see what happens. A lot could still happen, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, so as I'm looking at the results here, we are missing a couple of household names here. Austin Guyman is not at this comp. Ben Hanna, Sean Bailey, some really wonderful names. Sean climbed Realization earlier this year. Kai Leitner, I know he's on the injury heal up. Kyle, if you're listening. We're definitely missing some big names, but for the names that we're missing, we had plenty of big names step up. So it's going to be a wonderful show tonight. One of the cool people that I've seen on the series is Keenan Takahashi. He may not be a household name, but he's about to be. He's Yosemite local right now. He's put up some amazing stuff, and I was really excited personally to see him come down. Generally, we see the usual suspects when it comes to the comp series, but I think, Keenan wants to start getting involved in that, so look out for him. That should be a fun one.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool to see athletes like Keenan. At the first comp that he competed this year at the Dog Patch National Cup, it was interesting to see a new face come in and qualify for finals like he did. I think he qualified in first place.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, which is pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
But yeah, you never know with athletes like that. Like, it could have been a fluke. Maybe they had a good day. But to see somebody be that consistent right away in competitions is really impressive. It's a hard game to be consistent with, especially if you haven't done it for years. So pretty cool to watch, and I hope we see a lot of action from Keenan tonight.
Absolutely, that's a good point, Joel. Yeah. I get really excited. I asked Joel to do this do the commentating with me because he has so much experience in route setting and the comp scene. So hopefully we can give you some good insight. But every time I watch these comps, I get just as excited. We have so many strong competitors that it's just up for grabs right now. We have no idea who's going to win this competition. So tune in and stay put because it's about to get started here. So very, very excited. I do want to give a little bit of a shout out here to some of the route setters. So the finals route setters were Garrett Greger. He was our chief, our fearless leader. He is very strong guy. If he had competed, he probably would have made finals. So it was great to have G on the crew. Chris Lacrosto from the Summit Gyms, also a good friend and an amazing climber. Ben Edwards is the head setter of Crux Climbing Center, and then myself, I'm the owner here at Crux Climbing Center, and sometimes I like to put holds on the wall. So overall, and Chris Danielson. It was a really good crew. From a setting standpoint, we had a wonderful time getting to set for these competitors. Also, thank you to the staff of Crux and Austin right now. I think Joel might be able to tell you, but it is going off right now. Packed to the brim, VIP, the whiskey's flowing. So, I think it's going to be a really fun time.
Yeah, it's packed in here. People are getting excited. People are already starting to get a little rowdy, and I think the competitors themselves are getting pretty psyched. So hopefully we can get this started soon. See some action. One
thing of note that I thought was really interesting, Joel, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe at the Dog Patch, they had 8 attempts total during the Red Point round, and this round we gave them 10. So with that being said, things are constantly tweaking with this new scoring system. So it's been really exciting to see, but as you can imagine, as a competitor, 10 attempts total in a Red Point round is crazy to think about. So some of these girls just stepped up and crushed it. So congratulations to all that made it into finals. So 10 attempts during Red Point is no joke.
Yeah, that's right. At Dog Patch it was 8, and they bumped it up to 10. I think one thing that's really cool about USA Climbing, especially in doing these National Cup competitions, is they've been able to experiment with different things and see what works and what doesn't work, and what makes a better show and a better competition for the athletes. And so always trying new things, I think, is what we need to be doing to progress our sport. That's just one of the little things that they did at this competition was just tweak the try limit to 10. To be honest, from a competitor's standpoint, I don't really find myself trying more than 10 times on the boulders. There's 10 boulders to try.
Yeah, it's pretty
wild. If you were to give 100 attempts, you're just going to be gassed.
Yeah.
So you really have to manage your time well and manage your attempts well too. Skin's always a factor as well. So it's interesting. I think I don't know that 8 or 10 is necessarily better than one or the other, but I think it's cool to try different things, and I think the fact that we're using this 3-zone scoring format is really interesting, and I think it's helpful to progress the sport of competition climbing here in the U.S.
Yeah, I actually was having a talk with Chris Danielson earlier today, and I think the goal here is, we'll never be able to compare climbing to basketball or football, but the goal here is ultimately to have these scoreboards up in the gyms or whatever venue it may be, so that you guys can all follow along. So it was really interesting working with this new scoring system. And one thing to note here, some of the finer details, is if you don't top, you can still get points for each zone. So a lot of people go in and they think it's the send that matters, and while that is the most important thing, it doesn't hurt to try some of the harder problems. 5, 10, 15 points, they all get accumulated at the end of the day, and that could put you over the top. So I think some of the competitors are still trying to figure out that and, tailor their strategy to that. But yeah, it's cool. We want to reward, obviously, the people that are topping boulders, but if you get far in a boulder, you should be rewarded as well. So yeah, it's a little bit of a pressure on the route setters for sure, trying to figure out the right zones, making sure that, and as time goes on, the system will continue to get dialed in. But yeah, it's been really fun to watch the climbers adapt to the new system.
Yeah, definitely. Going back to the whole scoreboard thing, Kevin, one thing I thought was interesting, and maybe you guys aren't doing it at this comp, but I think at the last 2 comps, they had the live scores posted where the athletes could actually see them while they're sitting in their chairs.
I think we actually have, I think we've actually got one down here to the left.
Okay. Yeah, so I think it's interesting because some competitors that I've talked to say that they prefer to not see it, and others actually like seeing it, so they know exactly where they're at and what they need to do to win or to podium or whatever. And it's no different than, like you were saying, in a sport like, say, basketball, where the scores are up there. The teams know where they are. They know if they're in the lead, and they know how many points they have. So it gives them opportunities to do different things in the game. And it's the same here with these bouldering competitions, where if you do see where you're at, it gives you ideas of what you need to do and how high you might need to get on the next boulder. So I think it presents something that's a little unique for a climbing competition that we haven't seen in the past.
Yeah, that's an awesome point, Joel. Yeah, it's hard to get into the mind of these climbers, but what I think is really cool about this scoring system and it being readily available to anyone that's watching is it really tests your mettle. You have to test your mental strength here. Everyone knows where you are. If you have to top the boulder or get a little further, and I think that's a really good thing. As we push towards the Olympics, we've got to figure out a way for climbers to know what's going on and how they can essentially beat each other. So it's exciting. It's not just who's the strongest anymore. It's how strong is your mind. But yeah, let's get to the action right here. So
looks like we got Natalia Grossman up on women's 1. We'll see what happens here. Looks like a little run up.
Oh, good attempt.
Yeah. It's like quite a risky start to the first boulder.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, this is, and as a route setter, you always have to take in. We want to have a good round, so that you're going to see a lot of risk. You're going to see a lot of power. Yeah, it's fun. I think we did a really good job of trying to test not the strongest climber, but the best climber here. So it should be a fun time. Thank you to all the wonderful sponsors out there: eGrips, Technic, Working Class Element, Rock Candy. Yeah, there's some good stuff going on. So yeah, tune in. It's going to be a fun one.
Let's see if Natalia can get established this time. And she's up. Look at that. Into some nice, powerful climbing now. Start the women off.
We've got
get the blood flowing.
Yeah, big black volume here that she's going to have to maneuver around. So this is definitely going to be a crowd pleaser right here. This is definitely an exciting boulder to watch. So. Ooh.
Trying to match the pocket.
Look at that.
And she's moved on to the crimp.
And I'm going to say this right now. I got on that crimp, and that thing is a razor blade. So props to her for establishing on it. So yeah, as we were talking about scoring a little bit, as you saw, so as she moves past the 10, the 15 tag, those are the points that she's going to accumulate.
And all the athletes are timed, so she has from when she started the boulder 4 minutes in total. She's now down to 2 minutes 57 seconds. And I think one thing that's important for athletes in these rounds is to manage that time well. Sometimes you don't want to just start rapid firing. You want to kind of be methodical and manage the tries, because you have 4 more boulders to try. So there's a rest period in between problems of another 4 minutes. So they go 4 minutes on, 4 minutes off to complete the round of 4 boulders.
Yeah, so I'm curious, Joel, what you think about this with the new scoring system. Do you think climbers are now going to have to be even more cognizant of time management? Because essentially Natalia could get to 15 and say, hey, for this boulder, I think that's the furthest I can get. Whereas maybe in olden days, it was like, I need to send this boulder to get up, to get up in the rankings. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on this.
Yeah, I think I think it changes the way that you can be strategic with competing. And I think you're exactly right. Like, you kind of want to manage your tries. If you really think that you're not going to stick 25 after you've gotten to 15, there might be no point. Especially that if you stop and you have 2 minutes remaining on the time, that gives you an extra 2 minutes of rest. So you'd have a total of 6 minutes resting before your next boulder. I think it challenges the competitors all from more of a power endurance perspective. The other formats that we've had in the past for finals, where you take one athlete out at a time, sometimes the rest periods can be quite long. So it's a little bit different in terms of what they're doing when they're out there. It might not be as big of a deal if they get pumped, because then they can go back, into ISO and kind of de-pump and have enough time to get it back. So it is different, and definitely because it's a cumulative point value at the end of the round. It might not be necessary to top a boulder that you really don't think is gonna happen, and it might just tire you out. So.
Yeah, that was an amazing description. So one thing to note here that's really interesting is the falls are recorded to your highest point, and are a 1 point deduction. You don't lose points for every fall, just those that you take to achieve your highest point. So there's always an incentive to keep trying to improve your score. So there is a point deduction to keep in mind. So that is a whole other bit of strategy that people need to focus on as well. But look at that, grabbing the wrist. Oh. That's an old school trick, I think, there. Yeah. But this is definitely, it's a fun boulder. It's got a little bit of risk involved, but you definitely have to have that gur to get up that boulder. So
I think Natalia is throwing in the towel. Not enough time left on the clock for her, so she'll.
So Natalia was out there by herself, but as we continue to go on, ultimately we're going to have 4 people on the wall. Is that right, Joel? At one point, we should have 4 climbers on the wall.
Yep, that's exactly right. Okay. Yeah, so eventually all the men will be climbing at one time, and all women will be climbing at one time. So
awesome.
There'll be a lot of action to watch at one time.
And next up is Mr. Daniel Beal. If you guys don't know about Dan, there's a boulder in Bishop, California called The Process, and Daniel, the two Daniels were going head-to-head on this thing. He's a very, very strong guy. He may not be... he's definitely an outdoor climber for sure, but he definitely impressed everyone tomorrow, so I don't know if his focus is going to be shifting to comp climbing or what, but you can't really ever write off, I should say, Daniel. You never know who's going to show up, so... I was very, very happy to see Daniel in finals.
Yeah, he definitely showed up last night. It was cool to see. And looks like he's still kind of sorting out what to do here on men's one. Went with the feet first start, so I'm curious to see if he'll choose that method again. It did look promising. Maybe he just slipped coming out to that first volume.
From the ground, I will say this boulder is definitely pretty complex. You got main dishes upside down. You've got some new technic holds that a lot of these competitors haven't climbed on. So, yeah, this is definitely not what you would call an easy-to-read boulder. Definitely a little bit of power, but, yeah, you got to use your mind on this one.
One thing that I noticed, Kevin, when I kind of looked through the whole round of boulders for the men and the women, it seemed like a bit of them looked quite cryptic. Like the competitors might come out and not fully know exactly what's going to happen. They just might have to start trying things and see how the moves sort of guide them in terms of decisions to make for the right sequence or the right beta.
Yeah, one thing that I've really enjoyed about the evolution of climbing in general is, back in the PCA days, it was all about who could pull hardest on the smallest crimps, but now we have so many guys that can do that. They sit in the gym, they hangboard, they can, do all these crazy things. So the big thing now is really testing the best climbers, not the strongest. We have so many strong climbers now, so and Daniel's looking strong here. He's got some toe hooks in, looks good. So let's see what he does here on this boulder. The crowd, by the way, is going nuts right now.
Oh, nice.
Look at him go.
Wow, look at those shoulders.
Come on, Dan. He's trying hard right now, yeah.
Come on, Dan.
Oh. Good effort.
That was pretty awesome.
That was very cool to see.
One thing that's cool to note about Dan is he dislocated his shoulder not that long ago, maybe last year sometime. and he's had to go through some significant rehab with it. I don't think he had surgery. I think he opted to try to manage it with physical therapy, but you can see him grabbing his shoulder right now. But he's come back from it, and it seems like he's been training hard, and it's obviously been paying off. So.
Yeah, so fun really little cool story. I went to the University of Redlands in California, and I actually have known Dan since I was a young kid. When I first started route setting when I was about 16 or 17 years old, Dan was kind of the guy we looked up to in California. He was a crusher, and it's awesome to we caught up the other day, and it was so cool to see him after all these years. I think it was 10 years since I've seen him. But yeah, it looks like he's having some shoulder issues here, but yeah, you can't ever count out Dan. You never know what's going to happen with this guy. So hopefully nothing's wrong. And yeah, crowd's going wild.
He's probably just warming up.
Warming up, yeah. That's a good warm-up boulder, right?
Yeah.
It looks like we're on the 1 minute mark here, so it looks like Dan is saying no more on that.
1 more minute, and then we'll get to see some action on women's 2. First competitor that came out, Natalia, will be moving on to women's 2, so it'll be interesting to see another one of the boulders get tried and see some more action there.
Yeah, we've got a couple holds here that are pretty brand new. I know a lot of people haven't seen them or climbed on them yet. We've got some innies from Sowil. We've got some damage control from Flat Hold for all you hold nerds out there. Some of the new stuff from eGrips is amazing. So yeah, it's exciting too as a route setter to be able to play with these things, but also know that the competitors may have never gotten on these holds too, and that plays a big role into this competition as well. As like I said, we're always trying to reward the best climber. And the best climber has to recognize, they have to look at the holds and try to understand where the good spots are. So yeah, it's fun. This whole thing, I don't know how you feel, Joel. You've been setting for a while, but I don't think it ever gets, I don't ever think it gets less exciting to me.
No way. It just keeps getting cooler and cooler with the evolution of climbing holds and volumes and even walls, man. The walls that you guys have here are pretty unreal. I think it's really cool that they're modular like they are, where you can adjust them and change the angles and always kind of mix it up for the competitors. It's a really great venue, having it just be one linear space where you can see all the athletes on the wall at one time. Yeah, it's a great venue you got here, Kevin, and it's really cool that you guys are putting time into changing the angles so you can mix it up for these guys.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Joel. So yeah, when we were opening the gym, one of the things we focused on was making sure. Oh, look at her crimp. There you go, full crimp. Let's see if she can do this thing.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Come on. Yeah, so if you can't quite see, there's a little blue jib on that white. Oh, no, good effort.
Man.
That is, I can tell you right now from forerunning this boulder, that is a hard move. So I'd love to see if one of the women can do this. But yeah, so one of the cool things about this gym is, we set it up for spectating. So you can see the crowd a little bit, but what you can see is that there are people on top of the boulder watching down. So yeah, it's a fun time, and we feel really great that USA Climbing decided to let us host this competition. So we appreciate all the competitors for coming down to Austin, the fans for showing up and making these athletes feel like the rock stars that they are.
We got Natalia here on women's 2, just balancing her way through on these heinous little crimps.
Come on, Natalia, you got this.
Yeah, it may look like she's standing on big feet, but this is no joke. Oh.
Wow, look at that.
Looking very strong right now. Impressive. Look at that.
Awesome.
That is not an easy move at all. She made it look easy. I'll tell you right now, that is no joke. Looks like she's on the Sowil Bubbies right now. Shout out to the Chancellor Bros for making some awesome holds, and Jason Kell as well. So. Oh, yeah, this is exciting. Full-on mantle press.
Oh, wow. And look at that finish hold. There's nothing there, so you got to really fully stand up, right, Kevin, and just balance.
Yeah, you can't hold on to that. Oh, look at that. That is
nice. That's great. Great job, Natalia.
That's what we call a high mom finish. You can turn around, stare at the crowd. Very, very impressive effort.
Sienna still working her way through women's 1 there.
It looks
See
like
if she can get up.
both women have gotten to the pocket and the crimp, and you know, the bottom is no joke either, but it definitely turns up here a little bit. So I'd be very excited to see what comes next. So.
You got this, CC. Come on.
Yeah, so I'll tell you right now, a lot of us guys with the fat fingers couldn't fit that many fingers in that pocket, so very impressive to see these girls crimping down so hard. She's searching for that. Oh, good effort, good effort. So Sienna, I'll be very honest, Sienna is definitely a dark horse in the competition, but it looks like she's from Golden, Colorado, which is no surprise there. We've got a lot of women from Colorado, a couple from Minnesota. Yeah, it's pretty awesome to see. Austin, Texas is a nice central location, so we've seen a good spread. You know, I'm looking at Tennessee, California. So yeah, it's cool to see so many competitors coming from all around the United States, and I think we actually might have some from out of the country as well. So that's always exciting to see.
You have 1 minute remaining.
One thing that I think we should mention too is something with these National Cup comps is that competitors who finish in the top 30 in these competitions get ranking points that they accumulate throughout the season, and that allows them to fight for the chance for the overall title after the U.S. Bouldering Nationals.
And if you guys didn't know, yeah, this is a $10,000 cash purse. Back in the day, that was a little unheard of, but yeah, you've got some 16, 17-year-old girls that could walk away with a pretty nice paycheck tonight. So USA Climbing has done a wonderful job of you know, yeah, making this thing a big deal, getting people involved, getting the resources they need. So it's been really exciting to watch the evolution of climbing. I know Joel has been climbing for quite some time and can probably speak to how big it's gotten. It's exciting times for the climbing community.
Yeah, I mean, it's just great for that USA Climbing is really continuing their mission of growing the competitive bouldering series in the U.S. And I think these 4 National Cup series plus the Bouldering Open National Championships that make up the adult bouldering season are exactly what we need to keep progressing the sport of competitive climbing.
And I'm sure 99% of you guys out there know this, but if you didn't, climbing will be in the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. So this is a big deal while a lot of these competitors are getting out here, trying to get as much experience as they can before the big show. So
and here we have a veteran Carlo Traversi out on men's 1. See if he can put this thing together.
Let's see, Carlo.
Dan's up on men's 2.
Making it look easy right now. Dan is definitely not known for his slab skills, but right now, if I didn't know any better, I would say he spent the last year in Yosemite working on that Tech Granite.
I think maybe with that shoulder injury, he was only training slab for a while,
yeah,
possibly. Maybe
you might be
maybe
right
that's
on
what's
that
going
one.
on.
So this is a really spicy move, and I'm excited to see what Dan does on this.
Oh, so close for Dan Beal there. Carlo's still up. Sticks zone 15. Setting up for the finish here.
Carlo's going
See
for
if
it.
he can pull it together.
Carlo's kind of waffling a little bit on which foot he wants to go to, but this guy's no joke.
Oh,
good effort.
big
good effort.
move there. It looked like he couldn't decide whether he should try and go straight up with the right hand or go out to the ret and use that as some opposition to maybe set up differently.
Yeah, so if you guys can't tell, he can either go off that left black volume from blocks, or he can go off the right technical, which is it's got a little jib on it. So yeah, it's kind of choose your own path. It looks like Carlo wanted to lock that thing off, but I think you're going to need a little more oomph on that one. But you know, if anyone's going to lock it off, it's probably going to be Carlo. So yeah, I'm impressed. Dan almost was that a flash go?
I think that was his flash go.
Very impressive. Dan.
Yeah. I think he could put this one together.
Yeah, it's exciting to see Dan kind of out of his, out of his element. I know he's known as like the crimp master, so it's always good when these climbers, step outside of their wheelhouse and train for other things. So, kudos to you, Dan. So we're not currently following along on YouTube, but I'd love to hear you guys in the comment about who you think's going to win. Yeah, we've been talking about this all day. It is it's impossible. You know, as route setters, we do our best to try to take in every competitor into account, but damn, these are some strong climbers, and it's very hard. So we do our best, but you just never know who's going to show up. For instance, you know, Dan almost flashed this boulder. So yeah, you never know what's going to happen in the comp setting.
There you go, Dan. Come on, bud.
And there he is, sticking 5 again right away.
M2, yeah, this is a fun boulder. This was set by Chris Lacrosse, a good mix of cheetah and it looks like some flat holds. So this boulder's hard. Daniel's making it look easy.
Wow.
Making it look very easy, but I can tell you
Yes,
right
he
now,
is.
it is a hard boulder. And it's hard to tell, but these walls are tall, so they're going for it, no doubt. So Dan is off, but Carl's off too now.
Man, the same thing happened with Dan. He stuck 15 once on men's 1,
Couldn't get back
and then
up.
couldn't stick it the second try.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it's just that move requires that much power, huh? That
A lot
just
of power
saps you right away.
and just it's cryptic. I'll tell you that. You know, it's a game of inches. I'll tell you that right now. It's, you know, how deep is the toe hook? Is there something else you should be doing with your foot? So that's what's exciting about climbing is you know, the amount of possibilities and what's the right one. But these guys are more than capable of figuring it out.
Yeah, and having that time pressure too, it changes things, right, Kevin? I mean, like if the boulder's being cryptic already, you know, you're kind of, the pressure's on to really figure it out quickly and not spend too much time sorting through different options, but just to kind of look at it, decide what to do, and then execute.
Yeah, you are absolutely right, Joel. That's a big deal. I mean, you may very well see someone try a boulder twice in 4 minutes because it's either that powerful or that cryptic. So yeah, back in the olden days, it was like, you know, you competed during the olden days. I'm talking like we've been here doing this for 100 years, but
Yeah.
back in the day, it used to be, you know, we had red point in the morning, and then, you know, you got a 2 or 3 hour nap, and then you're back at it. So this new comp series and the format is nice. The competitors got to compete last night on Friday, get some rest, some proper sleep, and I think it makes for a better show, personally. From a setting standpoint, you know, these guys are coming in, you know, quite a bit more fresh than they would have had they been competing that day. So it's exciting. You get to see a lot more going on, in my opinion, in the finals round. So it looks like we have Miss Claire Burfine. She is a Texas local, and she is an absolute crusher. So
She got up on that move first try. It looked really smooth. So
yeah, fun fact
see if she
about
could be the first female to put this one together.
yeah, would not be surprised. Fun fact about Claire is she actually just climbed her first 514
Oh,
recently.
just locking
my
that off.
God.
Wow.
Come on, Claire.
Oh, wow.
These holds are
Super
not
strong.
good. These holds are not good.
And 25 is right there.
Come on, right there. Boom.
Nice flash. from
Congratulations
Claire
to Claire
Burfine.
Burfine. That is the first flash and first top of that problem. She is psyched. Look at that.
So that gets 25 points for Claire up on the board and puts her in the lead.
Claire is currently in the lead. Not surprised at all. She is a crusher. Like I was saying earlier, she actually just climbed her 514 in the Red River Gorge. And fun fact about that is it wasn't 514A, it wasn't 514B, it was actually 514C.
Wow.
It was Lucifer. So no doubt that Claire can pull on some small holds and do some hard moves. So congratulations, Claire, on your flash. So we've got 2 women on right now. We have Natalia Grossman, if I'm correct,
Yep.
on women's 3, and we've got Sienna on women's 2 right now.
So women's 3, this is the first time we've really seen action over here. Looks like a pretty difficult establish and first move even.
Yeah, this is a cool problem. It's got a little more tech in it, as we like to say in the route setting world. Lots of body tension required. Yeah, definitely a little different from the first problem. So yeah, like we said, we're really testing the best climbers here. So, and just to give you guys a heads up, Natalia is a Team ABC gal, and you know those guys are pushing them out. So yeah, you never know what to expect from Team ABC. They're producing a lot of strong men and women, so it's always exciting to see them in the mix.
One thing to note about Natalia is she's been on the U.S. team 12 times, including all 3 disciplines. She placed 4th at Youth Worlds in 2015 in bouldering, placed 11th at Youth Worlds in 2017 in bouldering, and and she's the American Bouldering Champion in 2014 Mexico City. Sorry. So she is a seasoned competitor. So let's see what she can do on this boulder. She might still have time to really figure this thing out.
I just want to give a little shout out to my friend Mark Goldstein. Apparently he just sent me a text and said, "Oh great, now I have to watch on mute." Well, Mark, if you're watching, I'd like to think me and Joel are pretty good at what we do. All right. She looks like she's having a hard time with this opening move, and it's hard. So it's exciting to see. Yeah, these big green holes that you're looking at right now, this is some of the new solo shapes from Jason Kell, aka Crypto Child. These are called the innies. Very fun holds to use, and yeah, we had a definite blast setting with them. So,
if you're watching this and you're not familiar with a finals format like this for climbing competition, anything can happen with these competitors. I think one thing to note, though, is that as these competitors come out, the ones that qualify in the top positions typically, in theory, should get further on the boulders. We might start seeing more and more tops or people getting further up the boulders as more of the competitors come out. So definitely stay tuned, because you don't want to miss any of the action tonight. It's gonna be pretty cool to see what happens.
And yeah, once again, for a lot of the people, maybe this is their first climbing comp they've been watching. Generally, what happens is the person that qualifies in 8th place will come out first. So, like I said, all these women are strong, but you may start to see some more tops or some people getting higher on the boulders as we get deeper into the round. But you never know. I mean, Claire Burfine just came out here and put on an absolute show. So that's what's fun about these things is, we try our best to try to figure out who's going to win and do well, but, we are constantly proved wrong. So very exciting times.
Yeah, it's always cool to see certain athletes come out and maybe they just squeak into finals and didn't climb that great, but they still made it there, and then in the finals round they end up exceeding everyone's expectations and kind of blowing it out of the water. And those types of situations can and will happen, and it's always exciting to see that stuff. So yeah, we'll see what happens tonight with the competitors. Right now it looks like we have Gregor on men's 1. He just came out. A really strong guy from Slovenia joining us tonight.
Wearing his 360 shirt over here. Yeah, we had some fun 360 volumes in the mix earlier, and I've never had the opportunity to meet Gregor, but I've been hearing about him all week, and it sounds like he's quite the climber, and he definitely likes to do some funky things. So let's see if he can work some magic here. So if I stand corrected, I don't think we have seen a top yet on number 1.
I think that's right, Kevin. We haven't seen anyone finish the boulder yet. So maybe Gregor.
And Carlo's over here on men's number 2, the slab problem. So we may see some fun.
The first time we've seen someone try men's 3, it looked like Dan went for the double clutch on that first move there.
Yeah, so male number 3 is a cool problem. This is generally it's a power problem. It's awesome. It's got a lot of coordination in it, but this is generally what we like to think of when it comes to American setting. Powerful, technical at the same time. Power tech. I think that's a good word. Power tech.
It's a great term.
But yeah, this is definitely one of those boulders where if you've got some muscles, you should be able to get it done. So.
Carlos so close there on men's 2.
And let me just tell you right now, that hold on number 25 on the blue problem is not a jug. So you've really got to commit to that problem. So very exciting to see. Yeah, we've got 3 extremely strong males on the wall right now, and we're looking for some tops.
I didn't see where Gregor got, Kevin. Did he get up to that last move?
I think, if I remember, Gregor is getting to, I think he might have gotten to the volume, but I'm not quite sure right now. So he's definitely on the wall right now. So let's see if he's
see if he can put it together.
Yeah, this left hand is on a left hand. He's
Ooh.
on a left-hand Gaston and right hand, and you've just got to kind of pull. And as you pull to the new technique hold, your left hand kind of leaves you a little bit, so you've really got to have a lot of contact strength. So, yeah, it's testing the strength here of fingers and mind. Carlo looking insanely calm right now, like he's been doing this for a long time. So, uh-oh, here we go. Can we see a top right here on men's number 2?
Come on, Carlo. Oh, man. The right foot just looked like it kind of slipped as he really pushed off it.
Yeah, Carlo was loading up there, and I think, a foot slip might have just happened. So, looks like Dan is on number 3 right now, so let's see if he can work some magic. Oh. Yeah, so these holds right now on the yellow volume that Dan are going to, they are not good. We've got a little Tuolumne knob on there and some razor sharp crimp. So this might be right up Dan's alley if he can pull it together.
I like that. Is that what they're called? Tuolumne knobs?
That's not what they're called, but that's what they feel like. So
that's good.
Oh. So Gregor looks like he's having a hard time latching this block's volume, but nothing to be ashamed about. This boulder is hard. All these boulders are hard. So
Dan just kind of not sure how to get established up there on zone number 10.
And I think Carlo is just going for it. I think he knows he can do this problem. So kudos to Carlo for giving it his all. Look at that move. This was I think I already mentioned earlier, this was a Chris Lacrosta boulder. Men's number 3 was set by Ben Edwards. And male number 1 with the pinky grips was set by myself. So it's cool. All the setters have very, very different styles. So when it came together, we were all kind of able to collaborate and give insight with some different boulders. So, all right, here we go. Carlo's loading up.
Both athletes up.
Oh, so close. Carlo with an amazing effort. He is psyched. One thing I love about Carlo is whenever he gets down from the boulder, even if he doesn't send, he's got a big smile on his face. So always good to see that kind of attitude.
Yeah, he's certainly been doing this for a lot of years.
And if you guys didn't know, Carlo's actually building a gym right now in Sacramento. So, yeah, I kind of talked to him a little bit earlier about opening gyms and things like that. So that's tough, opening a gym and competing at the highest level. So kudos to Carlo for taking a little break out.
Bit of a jack of all trades, I guess.
Yeah,
huh?
jack of all trades for sure. And Carlo's also a route setter as well, so he knows how the game's played. So here we go. We got Claire Burfine on women's number 2, and looks like women's number 3 is going to get its. Nope. This is a second woman on women's number 3. Is that correct, Joel?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, but we do have a. Yep. Here we go. We have a
Sienna.
Okay, and we've got a. Here we go. We've got our first female on women's number 4. So right now on female number 4, we have Natalia Grossman from Boulder, Colorado. So this is awesome. 3 insanely strong women on 3 completely different problems. Women's 4 definitely goes back to a little more of power climbing, whereas the other 2 are a little more technical.
I don't know if Claire's pulled off the ground yet. Looks like she's still brushing her holds, figuring out what to do on that slab, but she flashed the first boulder, so let's see if she can keep that ball rolling.
Yeah, Claire is definitely a seasoned competitor, so I wouldn't be surprised if it took her a minute to even get on the boulder. She's been doing this for a long time, and she's been very successful. So.
Claire is a 2017 World Youth Champion in lead and bouldering, and 2017 Pan American Youth Champion in lead, and overall 2016 World Championship second overall. So she is definitely a seasoned veteran to competition. So she definitely knows what she's doing, and if you see some athletes doing different things, like maybe taking a little more time before they even get on the wall. They've just developed different tactics and skills over the years to help them succeed. And every athlete kind of has a different approach and knows what works best for them. So.
There we go. All right, Claire's getting into the mix. And another thing to note about Claire is, as amazing as a climber as she is, she's also one of the most humble climbers I've ever met. She is sweet, sincere, and just a nice person to hang out with. So it's always easy to root for Claire. Claire is a Dallas native, if I am correct, but she always makes it a point to come down to Austin and compete. So we love seeing Claire out here. The other women look like they're working through some things, but I think we have 2 women in full effect right now. Joel, who is it that we have on number? Is this
I think
Maya?
that's Maya on number 1.
So Maya Madera, I'm going to be a little biased here. She's our Austin local, so we always love to see her. The crowd is going wild for her
Cool.
right now. All right.
Just kind of came off that crimp, shaking her hand.
So it looks like Claire.
And Claire's up on women's 2, still on the wall. She's been on there for a minute.
And like Joel mentioned earlier, this hold is nothing. So she may try to grab it, but it's all about getting your feet up. So
Is there no texture on that hold, Kevin?
no, that's a good question. This is actually literally what we call a no texture hold. It's just there to score points. It's a hold from
Flat hold?
Yep, from flat hold, exactly. So it may, if she's pulling on, it's on nothing. So, but if anyone can do it, it can be Claire. Come on, Claire.
Oh, man. Just needs that foot up there.
Exciting
She
times,
can just
guys.
get that other foot up. She can stand up and just balance.
This is what we like to call sports action right here. It doesn't get better than this.
She's got some fight in her, so she'll be there until she either figures it out or slips off. But she's certainly not going to let go. Oh, no, just lost it at the last second.
That was a heartbreaker.
Oh, so close.
Well, once again, one of the things I respect most about Claire is, she fell with a smile on her face. So it looks like she has about 1 minute and 7 seconds left. So I think we'll see one more go out of her. I think she knows she can do this boulder.
And who do we have announcing down there tonight, Kevin?
So right now we have our Crux employee, Ahmed Toure. He has been competing on the national scene as well. He's more of a speed climber, but yeah, he was just in Paris competing. He's actually done a fair bit of commentating as well, so it's been nice to kind of step in the booth with Joel and kind of be on the other side of the thing. So yeah, Ahmed's doing a great job. He's getting the crowd hyped. So let's see if we can get these girls up the boulder. So we're down to 30 seconds. It looks like Maya's, into the thick of it.
Here we have Maya. Oh,
no.
She's just slipping.
And like I
Slipping
mentioned
off that
earlier, it's kind of the game of inches.
first
These
position.
girls can get to the very end and then fall off the middle. And that's what's so exciting about watching climbing comps is you really just don't know what's going to happen. Looks like things are kind of settling out a little bit. So after Maya Madera, we've got a familiar face, Brooke Rabitou. She's also a Team ABC competitor. Her brother Sean Rabitou is an amazing rock climber. And let's talk about her family. Robin and Didier, legends. So Brooke has quite the lineage, and I would not be surprised to see her top some boulders today. So, and next up for the males, it looks like we may have Tyler Laneman come out.
Is it Ty or is it? Oh, it is Ty, isn't
Ty,
it?
yeah,
Awesome.
Looks like
Great.
Ty is an awesome competitor. He's actually from the UK, but he spent a lot of time in Boulder climbing some very hard boulders back in the day. Joel, did you ever get the opportunity to climb with Ty?
Yep, I've climbed with Ty quite a bit.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. I love watching him in comps. He has definitely a diverse skill set when it comes to climbing. And so it'll be pretty cool to see what he can do here tonight. He's no stranger to competitions either. He's done a lot of competing on the international stage as well as the U.S. national stage and British national stage.
Yeah,
so.
if I stand corrected, he has won the British Nationals before. Correct?
Yeah, I think he is currently the British national champion.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a dual citizenship, I believe.
Yep.
So he competes over here and over there. He's double dipping.
I will say Ty is probably one of the most stylish climbers. I think yesterday in qualifiers he was wearing a turtleneck, so that was pretty awesome to watch. And not just that, I've also heard from many people that Ty has some of the strongest fingers of anyone around. So it's always a pleasure to see Ty and watch him climb. He is definitely a unique character in the climbing scene. So he looks like he's just, look at that, just hanging on with pretty much nothing there.
Yeah, I think one thing that's really cool about watching these comps is each athlete, each athlete has individual skill sets and strengths and weaknesses, and it's cool to see them tested in such a diverse way across a round of boulders like this. It's really cool when they have an opportunity to really showcase what their strengths are, because some of these athletes can do some really incredible things, and I think we're going to see some of that, continue to see some of that tonight.
Absolutely. And it seems like that hold on men's number 2 is just bad enough, but maybe it's good enough. They're going for it, and like I said, these boulders are tall, so it's a testament to how badly these guys want it. Ty's doing a little scoping. I think we have yet to see a top on men's number 1, so yeah, hopefully Ty can start the train.
I think that he can. We got Dan over here on men's 4, still trying to sort out what to do on this starting position. Looks like a sort of a press to get established, and then a kind of a strange stand up into the corner with really nothing to grab.
Yeah, so this is a really cool thing about the walls that we built. It naturally lends itself to some cool dihedrals and arrêts. So this men's number 4 was set by Garrett Greger. Yeah, this is a really unique problem. It's a little cryptic for sure. Carlo, there we go. Carlo looking good right now. And let me tell you, this guy is
up
strong.
Oh man.
Sometimes Carlo gets into these positions and he'll just rip, and it's hard to understand how he holds on. So
absolutely,
you never know when he could just pull it out.
Gregor's got 2 fingers on that
hold. There we go.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought he was monoing there.
Really
really
impressed with this guy.
Yeah, this is
oh man, I think that's the closest we've seen yet.
Yeah, so Gregor's one of those guys that I've heard is this is kind of right up his alley, a little bit funky, and looks like Carlo. Is that Carlo? Yep, no, that's Dan. I'm
that's
sorry.
Dan up on men's 4.
So Dan
yeah.
has stuck the jump on men's number 4 and is there we go.
He looks like he's cruising,
That move
just
is
styling
not easy.
it. Look
move
at that.
Is not easy. There we go. The crowd is going wild right now for Dan.
Oh man.
Good effort.
Wow. Very close for Dan Beal on men's 4. Carlos still trying to lock in that shoulder move on men's 3. Gregor's up again, getting ready to set up for the last move on men's 2 here.
Team Sylvania can get up there. Oh, looks like he had maybe a foot slip or had a little bit
Carlo with
out of hesitation.
about 15 seconds left on the clock.
And it looks like Miss Meagan Martin might be hopping on the mic here pretty soon. Joel, thank you so much. Joel will be ending the night with me, so. And looky who we have here, Miss Meagan Martin, one of the best commentators in the game.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. So Meagan, how was qualifiers last night?
Qualifiers were pretty fun. The boulders were really exciting. Lots of technical elements and dynamic elements. Very powerful. Didn't have my best day, but was 1 out of finals, so happy to be up here watching some of my favorite people climb.
Yeah, I will say one of the pluses of this show is, you know, all these women are more than capable of making it to the finals, but every once in a while we get kind of lucky and get girls like Meagan Martin in the booth. She has got some insane comp knowledge of some of these kiddos, and she is no joke yeah, she's got great insight, and she's no joke when it comes to the competition scene, so we're excited to have Meagan on the feed.
Why, thank you. So we just had Brooke Rabitou step out onto the floor for her first boulder, and currently she is crushing, as I would expect her to. This is her first attempt, and she is already at that.
And like I said, these moves are not easy. We had some strong gentlemen forerunning this, and Brooke Rabitou put us all to shame.
Very nice.
So that is, if I stand corrected, that is the second flash.
Yes, the second flash of women's number 1.
Women's number 1. So congratulations to Brooke. And if Meagan, Brooke is kind of, you've been coaching Brooke for quite some time. Is that correct?
Yes, I have been coaching Brooke for the last few years. She and I train together a lot, actually, at Cats on Tuesday nights. She comes in, which is super fun. For those of you who don't know, Cats is one of the older gyms in Boulder with a pretty sick wall. Very old holds, like 20 plus years old, maybe even 30. But she is such a crusher. We spent all summer together in Europe, competing and doing all the World Cups. So yeah, know a lot about brook rabbit
Yeah,
too.
me and Joel were kind of talking. When it comes to climbing lineage, she's probably got some of the best genes in the game.
Yeah, I think people would pay for those jeans
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree. So it looks like we've got Claire on women's number 3 right now.
Yeah, she's looking good.
Who is it that we have on women's number 2 right
Number
now?
2, we have Maya Madeir.
Yeah, that's
Maya
Maya
Madeir
Madeir.
on number 2.
I mean, give a little shout out to Maya. She's our hometown
Texas
hero.
girl.
Yeah, hometown, not only Texas, but Austin.
Yeah, that's true.
So
She's an
Claire,
Austin girl.
what's cool right now is Claire took first in the, let me just stand. Claire took first in the World Youth Championship and in bouldering, and Maya was actually right behind her. So it's, theoretically, we've got 2 of the best climbers in the world right now duking it out.
Yeah, I think a lot of these young competitors have been doing a lot of the competitions overseas the last few years and having a lot of success, which is great for the U.S. And it really gives them a lot of comp experience. So coming into these kind of competitions, they're quite prepared.
Looks like
Maya.
making
Yep.
this look easy.
She's really good at this type of climbing. Slab. I mean, she
Look at
sometimes
her
says
go.
she's not, but she's definitely good at slabs.
Yeah.
As you can see,
Humble
she just
as
made that
ever.
look so easy.
That is a top. Look at that, no hands.
Very good.
The crowd is going absolutely nuts right now.
Awesome.
So Meagan, I'm curious, as a competitor for so long, is this new scoring system, are you enjoying it?
I actually really like the new scoring system. I think that it puts more emphasis on how you do overall in the competition versus on whether or not you can get up maybe one boulder but not get off the ground on another one. So it rewards the climber who can get through almost all the boulders.
Yeah.
So if you get to the top of every boulder and fall, you will be ahead of someone who maybe tops 2 boulders and can't get off the ground, which seems a little more fair.
Yeah, me and Joel were kind of talking, and I've probably said this 8 times by now, but yeah, the goal of these competitions is to reward the best climber.
Exactly.
All these girls are strong. There is no doubt that all these girls are strong, but we want to find out if they can climb slab, if they can, get a little gur in them. So, yeah, it's exciting, and the goal for us is to be able to make sure that you guys can see exactly what's going on and know exactly who's in the lead. So I think the scoring system accomplishes a lot of those things.
Yeah, and I think it's a little easier to follow because you have the points as you're going up, so the viewer can see, okay, Claire's going for number 10, but
Yep.
currently she has 5 points. So it makes sense when she grabs 10, and then the scoring reflects it. So I think it's a lot easier to follow if you're not a climber.
Yeah, it's always good to get an athlete's perspective on these sorts of things, but Claire's looking super strong right now.
And we haven't seen a top on this boulder yet.
Yep, we have not seen a top
And
yet.
she has the high point, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah, that is correct. And so one of the things that we wanted to talk about is back, a couple years ago, it was all about rewarding the tops. But right
Correct.
now, it's the points are important. So
Exactly.
Claire may have to be very strategic. If she thinks that she can't get past 10, then maybe she takes a break and saves it all for number 4. So
Especially because as a competitor, you know when you're coming out to the wall, you know which angles you've been on, and she can obviously tell that her last boulder is on an overhang,
Yep.
so that's where you need to save your energy.
Exactly.
So she's obviously making a good decision, not fully running down the clock and just taking her 10 and moving on.
yeah, so on top of being the best climber too, it's really testing their mettle. As I've said earlier, it's we're trying to find out who's the most composed climber as well. So who is this on? It looks like we got Gregor from Slovenia looking strong.
On number 2 or 3, he's on number 3.
Yeah, male's number 3, the flag
And
problem. Looking
we have
strong.
Taya number 2, and I believe we have Keenan on number 1.
So Gregor is looking very strong. Men's number 1 has not been top, but Keenan could very well do it right now.
He kind of came out of nowhere at
Out of
the
nowhere.
South Bay comp and just kind of crushed it. We were all sitting there and we're like, wait, I've never met Keenan. Like, he's in finals. I've never met him.
Oh,
Look at
my God.
that! A flash.
So,
See?
like
Dark horse.
Dark horse, but if you're an outdoor climber and paying attention to the outdoor scene,
Then you would know.
He's been traveling a lot, doing hard things, but boy, oh boy, that was impressive. It's amazing
That
to
was
see.
Effortless.
That was effort. Yeah, it's amazing to watch climbers who climb outside so much transfer their skills to the indoors. So kudos to you, Keenan, for topping that.
I'm a little surprised to see Ty struggle with number 2. Currently, I feel like being such a technician, this is kind of right up his alley, but I'm hoping that he's able to figure this out. I feel like if he sticks this move that, there we go. I don't know, maybe I should just keep talking. And we'll just do the whole boulder.
Yeah, what's fun about this too is it's not just the problem. I mean, you've got, I don't know, a couple hundred people out here. The lights are on you. It can get to you. So a lot of elements. Oh, no.
Heartbreak.
Well, this is an exciting time. We've got Carlo and Ty looking for the send here, so maybe we can get a little send train going.
I think that this boulder is something that Carlo can definitely do as well.
Absolutely. This
He's
guy's
so
got
strong.
Lots of steel.
Yeah.
Come on, Carlo. Oh, good effort.
Clearly the setters have kept it entertaining with some hard last moves. That's always fun. It's literally Heartbreak City.
Yeah, we were talking earlier on men's number 2. It's a tough one. It's up there, and that hold is not a gimme. So
You know what I was thinking though, and I haven't seen anyone do it yet. We're allowed to put our feet in the seams. I wonder
That is correct.
if popping that foot up into the seam would get them. I mean, obviously it's not as good as the hold, but maybe give them a little more height just to get up onto that big. Is that a cheetah hold?
that is a cheetah hold. Yeah, so Megan brought up a really good point here. So one of the cool things about this feature wall too is, we've got seams, we've got arrettes. So the climbers have to get really creative with what they do. But yeah, we'll see if someone tops this. Carlo
That'd be
could very
really
well
cool.
top it right here. This is kind of I don't want to say it's right up his alley, but he's definitely got the strength to do any boulder in this room.
I feel like Carlo might be the most seasoned climber. I mean, it might be a tie between Carlo and Ty,
Yeah,
but in this
agreed.
competition, they've both been climbing for decades,
Yeah,
and as much indoor as they have outdoor, and they've got quite the skill set between the two of them. So
yeah, both these guys are very impressive climbers. I know earlier, it might have been earlier this year or late last year, but Carlo did, I think, what was called the triple 14.
oh my goodness,
Which is
yes.
insane. It's a V14, 514, and a 14er. And this
All
wasn't
in one day.
And this wasn't hiking up a 14er, So when it comes to being a well-rounded climber, Carlo is right up there
Yeah,
with the best
he did Jade, which is a V14.
Yep, Sarcasm.
Sarcasm Arette, which is a 514, and then he climbed the Diamond, which
Yep.
is on Long's Peak.
Yeah, Carlo, look at that. This is what I love about competitions.
Always the showman.
Always the showman. There we go.
And we've
First
got
top.
a send.
Not
Woo!
surprised at all.
So
That is
one top
that's
for
the first
Carlo,
top.
correct?
That is correct.
So we have one top for Carlo, one top for Keenan currently.
Yep. What's awesome about most of these competitors, Ty, Keenan, Carlo, they were all last-minute additions. I think they might have all signed up the day before qualifiers.
Yeah, I wasn't even sure Ty was coming.
Yeah.
He texted me about it, and I was like, "You're coming, right?" Oh
Ty
man,
getting
so close.
heartbreakingly close. What a show. We've seen tops on almost everything right now. Looks like men's number 2, that hold might be a little harder to latch than we thought.
Again, the setter's just not letting it be over till it's over.
Yeah,
it's always exciting.
Yeah, having set for this comp, I can say we put a lot of thought into these boulders.
I mean, you have to though,
Yeah.
because these are such strong and seasoned competitors
Yep.
that you can't just give it away at the top. It has to be difficult the whole way through. Otherwise, we'd have a bunch of ties, right?
I mean, every day, Megan, we just kept having, and this was on the men and women's side. It was like, oh, who's coming? Oh gosh, who else is coming?
We
Oh
gotta
gosh.
fix that.
Yeah, it was crazy to see the amount of competitors that were coming out for this thing. So I hope you guys are enjoying it, because it's very, very rare that this caliber of athletes come and compete in the same place.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about the National Cup Series is you're getting more people coming to these competitions because this is supposed to prepare you for nationals.
Yep.
So it's like everyone is harder and harder. We have Ashima Shiraishi on number 1. This is her first National Cup she's participated in, and currently crushing number 1.
No problems. Look at her go.
She is killing it.
Looking like it's no
I think the
problem.
only part of this problem that she probably didn't like was that run and jump.
Yeah.
Not her favorite, but let's see if she can. Oh! Flash number 3 on number 1.
Fun little fact here, Ashima is quite the foodie. I got to talk to her the other day, and the first thing she asked me is, where can I find the best tacos? So I'll give a little shout out to Veracruz Tacos
Nice.
off Manchac. But yeah, she's an insanely sweet girl, humble as
So
ever.
sweet, yeah.
So
I would guess that would be coming from the fact that she's from New York. Food is such a big thing
Yeah,
there, so
yeah.
I'm sure it created a little foodie in
yeah,
her.
I like Ashima style. I know a lot of climbers, people have their ideas of what climbers are, but
Yeah.
it's cool to see how many more people are getting into climbing and how diverse our little tribe is getting.
Yeah, and Ashima's done a lot for climbing,
Yeah,
bringing it to the
absolutely.
mainstream. She's had a lot of opportunities and, I mean, done so many groundbreaking things in the sport. I mean, she's climbed V15. Like,
Yeah, she has.
can we talk about that?
15 and 14D. But look at this right now.
Claire
We've got two
Burr
of the strongest women in the nation going head-to-head right now.
I feel like she's eating this boulder for breakfast right now.
Or for dinner, maybe, to stand corrected.
Wrong time of day.
She hasn't eaten dinner yet, apparently. She's hungry. They're looking strong. And let me tell you right now, these holds are not good.
No. Some lovely
good
dual
God.
Oh,
No.
I thought she was going to hold on to that. A little bit of a helicopter going on, but I had a little hope she was going to control it. Oh, Brooke Rabbitoo.
Brooke Rabbitoo, no
and
problem.
done with the slab.
So, yeah, for all of you that don't know, one of the cool things about the, I guess you could say the same thing for men, but there is definitely a big height difference in a lot of these women. Claire's is definitely on the taller side, and girls like
I think
Brooke are on the
Brooke's
shorter
probably
side.
the shortest
Yeah.
one. Her and Ashima are really close in height, but Brooke is definitely a little shorter. But Claire is 5'9", 5'10".
She might be, I mean, I'm pretty sure,
She's
but I
5'10".
feel like she's much taller
She's
than I am.
5'11".
Yeah.
She's definitely very tall.
Yeah. So bottom line is a route setter for this comp, and we definitely have to take that into consideration. We can't, you have to take into reach, height, all of those things. So it's really impressive to see some of these girls maybe get into a box that they may not usually fit into.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest things about climbing is just watching people solve problems and doing it differently every single time, because you have the opportunity to figure out your own way on each boulder, and because everyone's a little different, we all do it differently, so it keeps it really exciting.
Yeah, it's amazing, Megan. I'm sure you can speak to it as well, but yeah, just in general, it's awesome to see the diversity in the women and men's field. You've got guys that are 6'2", and you've got guys that are 5'5", and they're all competing on the same boulders.
Exactly.
So
You're never
it's
too
fun to
tall
watch.
or too short.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all, yeah, exactly. So this is fun to watch. Maya looks like we've got about 1 minute left here, so this could
I'm
very
hoping
well be.
she figures out how to do this. I feel like this boulder is kind of right up her alley.
Yeah.
Lots of flexibility and a lot of power that this one has.
So this one's a little cool. It's a little different from the other palms. It's a lot more technical. Those rock candy holds are not as good as you want them to be. So.
And they're not really forgiving, the pinches.
No,
it's
no,
always
not at all.
you gotta really go for it, and you can't really hesitate ever.
I want to give a little shout out to all the hold companies that are sponsoring this event. They we got a nice.
Look at Claire. She's like, no, I can do it one more time. I got this. 20 seconds. Let's go.
So yeah, as Joel and I mentioned earlier, it is no longer 4+. It's 4 minutes and it's a hard stop. So you really, really have to take that into consideration when you're rock climbing.
But when you get to your last boulder, it makes sense to just run the clock down because
Agreed.
you're done. So you might as well. You have nothing else after
Nothing
that.
else to lose. But it's been impressive. I think we've seen tops on most of the boulders here. There's a couple that haven't gone, but I'm hoping as we get deeper into the field, we may start to see some tops.
I think we'll definitely see a top on 3 and 4 for the women once all of the women are out. We still have a lot of big names coming up. So we have Kyra Condi, Alex Puccio.
Yeah, and on the men's side, we've got, I don't know if he's out right now, but we've got Ross Fulkerson, definite dark horse.
He just stepped out.
He just stepped out, yeah. Ross is on number 1, and Nicholas Milburn and Nathaniel Coleman.
Exactly,
You can't forget about any of those.
It is not over,
Nathaniel is
folks.
our ABS 13 National Championship. Yeah, he's no joke.
Ty getting after this boulder right now.
I don't
making
know.
it look good.
I'd like to call this a tie boulder.
I'm
Lots of
100%
tension.
with you.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful beta reading right here by Ty. Calm, cool.
And those dual text holds are never a joke.
And he right now is stepping on dual text.
Exactly.
And what that means is Ty's got some good footwork.
Maybe some of the best in the biz.
Oh, best in the biz.
For his first attempt, I think that was really good. I feel like he could figure this out.
Yeah, I have no doubt. If anyone's going to do this boulder, it's going to be Ty. Yeah, that guy can stand on dimes.
Ross Fulkerson pretty high up on this first boulder.
And I had a nice little a joke with Keenan the other day. I was saying, he's getting all the slab problems first, and I was saying, man, you're really stepping it up with your Yosemite Tech over here. And, yeah, he kind of gave me a little chuckle, but you can clearly see that guy knows how to stand on nothing.
And I think we're probably likely to see a send.
Oh, no.
Man, spoke too soon.
So that boulder requires a little bit of power. Keenan just tried to pull into it, but I think you've kind of just got to go for it. So.
Not a bad idea, though, to try out something just to start to see if it's going to work, because I mean, he got up there pretty easily. It's not like he's not going to
no
get up there
joke.
again.
Yeah,
so.
we still have a little more than 3 minutes left, so impressive effort for Keenan Takahashi. Keenan is living in Yosemite right now and has been dispatching hard boulders since the beginning of the year, really. Looks like Ty's doing a little brush. It looks like everyone's
It's
getting
a
their
brush
brushes in.
time.
It's brush time. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have Claire Burfine currently in first place. She's done climbing, though. And her total points are 59.6. And Brooke Rabitou is close behind her and still has 2 more boulders to go. So I feel like Brooke can catch up on this next boulder.
Yeah, it's hard to say. And for the men, we've got Carlo Traversi, Dan Beal, and Dark Horse Gregor. So, yeah, we'll see who shows out right now.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
So close.
Ty looking really strong here.
Oh.
My God.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, so much power.
It looked like he had that.
Yeah, I think he slipped a little on the dual text.
No.
Yeah.
You can tell Ty's beating himself up a little bit. I thought he had it from up here. So
Yeah, I think standing on dual text is always hard because it's slippery. I don't know if the viewers can see. I feel like they should be able to, though. It's kind of shiny, so when you're standing on that, your foot's literally slipping the whole time.
It's like standing on glass.
It's basically like standing on glass.
It's like someone just poured oil over everything, and you're like, what do I do?
And it's really hard to trust in that kind of situation. Yep. So I think he was moving and then slipped a little and tried to save it, but ended up losing it. But hopefully he gets back up there. Gregor looks like he is on a mission right now.
Gregor's doing well. This could be the second top, if I believe. Let's see if he has the power to finish this thing out. No joke here.
Yeah. Oh, such a heartbreak.
He took a fall. Impressive.
Yeah, the falls at this competition have been pretty good, including the qualifying round yesterday. The walls are very tall.
Very tall.
I know I squealed a few times on the way down.
That's a testament. These climbers have guts, so you got to just go for it sometimes if you really want it.
And everybody here wants it, that is for sure.
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, this is a $10,000 cash purse. Yeah, it's good to see climbers getting the money they deserve, so I'm happy that these guys are giving it their all. Ty looks like he's maybe digressing a little bit, so maybe he'll give it a little bit of a break.
I feel like he might give it one more try, but he could possibly take a seat depending on how he's feeling. Because he does still have one more boulder.
He does, and Keenan is up
back
there
on
with
number 2.
about 40 seconds to go. So
as is Gregor.
Okay, here we go.
And Ross.
Oh, yeah. How can I forget about Ross over here? Dark Horse Ross.
Dark Horse Ross. He's really young, too.
Yeah, I don't, Megan, you may have to educate me a little bit. I don't know too much about Ross.
Yeah, he's from Northern California,
okay.
Like San Francisco area.
Yeah.
And he's definitely been very present on the youth scene. Oh, look at Gregor.
Oh, no.
That was some good beta, though.
That was good beta.
Very smart. But yeah, Ross Fulkerson, very strong youth climber. We see this a lot in the women's field. We see a lot of young girls competing against women.
Yep.
But you don't see it as often in the men's field. The men kind of...
Oh, no. Sorry about
kind of, are a bit older for the most part. But the last couple years, we've definitely been seeing a few more younger men break into these finals. And it's been really awesome to watch.
Yep. Absolutely. So, Megan, for the viewers out there, what do you think about the crowd right now?
I feel like the crowd is extremely psyched. I mean, everything's bigger in Texas, right?
Everything is bigger in Texas, no doubt.
We've got the big crowd, very excited crowd. I mean, you've got so many Texas climbers in here tonight, so I'm glad everyone came out to support. Yeah, it's nice to see a community here in climbing.
Yeah, if you want to, I'm not trying to plug myself, but if you're trying to keep it up to date here, it's Garadia_IM for a little live update. The crowd's big. Yeah, we're psyched. It's our first year hosting the comp, and let me tell you, it's been amazing to see the athletes that have come out. So, yeah, me and Megan are going to take a little photo in the booth.
Selfie. Kyra Condi is absolutely crushing this first women's climb. That was another flash on number 1.
Yep, there we go. And Kyra, yeah, as Megan mentioned, Kyra is an absolute crusher.
She, in the last couple of years, has really come into her own as a climber, not only in the competitions, but outside. She is one of the most determined girls that I know. You'll see her if you look at her Instagram. She posts videos of training on campus boards, doing one-arm pull-ups. Like, she legitimately can do a one-arm pull-up. basically her and Alex Puccio.
Yeah.
I don't know who else can really do it. But
Not me, that's for sure.
I can't either.
Yeah.
I just nope, it's not happening.
Take 80 pounds off me, and maybe I'm there. Yeah.
I think I need a lot more
Yeah.
than that. But Kyra, not only is she an awesome climber, also a great person, and it's been really nice to watch her have such a good season this year.
Yeah,
So.
one of the cool things about Carol's always kind of been known for her, I guess you could say, speed climbing per se. She's definitely got a very unique style. Uh-oh.
Ashima.
No problem.
Easy. Oh.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see if with her hand she used the crease or her foot. Oh, that's awesome.
That is
valid,
that's totally good. Valid.
and amazing.
So yeah, as I mentioned, one of the unique things about the walls here is we do have creases. We do change the wall out every 6
Oh.
months. So yeah, we have a new wall
Wait,
every 6 months for our
Kyra
competitors.
is going again.
Uh-oh, is she? Yeah, there
Must
we
have
go.
been a judging call on that one.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not surprised if Kyra tops 3 of the 4, or maybe all 4.
I think she definitely has it in her to top all
Yeah.
4 boulders
There we
today.
go.
I think the
There
only
she- oh my God! Look at that.
Beautiful.
She didn't even cut feet.
Nope.
Incredible.
I think the only boulder that might give her some trouble is actually number 2 at the top. She had spina bifida and had some back surgery like 4 years ago, I believe, and sometimes weird high steps and back
Give her some
arching
issues.
give her some
Yeah.
issues.
And,
So
and Puccio as well also had a what was it? A spinal fusion?
yeah, spinal fusion.
Spinal fusion. So
Yeah.
these competitors, after having all these crazy, can still go out and climb at the highest level. So
Exactly.
I don't want to say anything against other sports, but I think climbing's definitely got some of the toughest climbers. So it's always exciting to watch these gals and guys come out here, knowing their past history and crush.
Brooke Rabitou is taking a moment to look at number 3. She was up trying to cross into that number 10 bonus.
Yep.
So I think she's just kind of taking a step back to assess what's going on. Maya's trying to get that little double clutch we got going on there.
And it looks like we are at about almost a little above a minute. So the crowd is cheering them on, and hopefully we can get them to the top of this
Whoa.
bowl. Okay. That was an early fall for both.
Yeah. Looks like some brushing might be in order.
Some brushing may be in order. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Maya's
so close,
super close
Maya.
on that. Definitely not Maya's favorite thing to do is jumping. She is not so much into the jumping, but she's definitely capable of doing it. She's such a powerful climber, but hoping she can figure out how to get this double clutch, because I think after that she could totally send this
Yeah, I
boulder.
know the fans in Austin are, they love her here.
Oh, man.
And Brooke is looking, Brooke, yeah. It looks like these problems are hard, and maybe a little more brushing may be needed. So
It is hard as the round goes on. The holds get a little more grimy, but brushers do a great job, and sometimes that just is how it is, and you got to deal with it.
you got to deal with it. Yeah, you got to kind of take what comes your way. So
Price you pay for doing so well in qualifiers.
yeah, so for a lot of you maybe that are new to the sport or just watching for the first time, Meagan Martin is also a very, very seasoned competitor. So it's great to have her in the booth commentating on some of these
Thank you.
on some of these girls and gals. She knows the scene better than most of us. So she's been there. She knows the pressure, and I hope you guys are taking note. So it looks like
Nicholas Milburn.
Nick Milburn, crusher. Yeah, I've
And see, that's what you would see from a seasoned competitor,
Yep.
going around and brushing the holds before they even get on the climb, because
Exactly.
he knows he is the 7th climber coming out to climb this boulder.
So yeah, keep that in mind. Megan made a great point. The clock is ticking, but there's no rush. Nick's scoping it out, doing what he needs to do. So it looks like we have Keenan right now. Is Keenan on the wall?
Yes, Keenan is on men's number 3
Yep,
currently.
men's number 3. We've
Just
got,
stuck the coordination mood.
We've got Nick on number 1, and it looks like we have Ty on men's number 4. So
Yeah.
pretty stacked lineup right
And
now.
Ross Fulkerson on number 2.
Ross Fulkerson. Look
Keenan is making quick work of this problem
I
currently.
would not be surprised if Keenan topped this boulder.
Definitely up his alley.
Yep.
So much.
Wow.
Wow.
That Keenan is standing on nothing right now.
Which he's definitely used to.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no. Good effort by Keenan Takahashi.
As Nicholas
He's still
cruises
going.
number 1.
Yep.
Looking very calm. Nicholas recently moved to Chattanooga temporarily
Yep.
to climb in the south. He's been crushing down there. really good this season in the comps, though, too. It's interesting because as a climber, it's kind of hard to balance climbing outside with climbing inside, just because plastic is so different from rock. So on the skin, it can be a little aggressive on the skin sometimes, switching back and forth between the two. But he's doing it with ease, clearly. Oh, super close. I need a little more power on that one. Oh, and Ty trying to get that jump around the corner.
Yeah, this is an exciting field. Like I said, we have some dark horses in here and some seasoned veterans. So this is a definitely exciting time. You know, Keenan is back on number 3, and
as Ross steps on to number 2. Ty's giving a little look around, as is Nicholas.
Keenan is just floating it up to this point.
Yeah, I wonder if he's like a little like tall for that little
Keenan is definitely one of the taller. Oh no, Keenan.
So because he looks a little more bunched up there. When he was in 15, I felt like Ty was a little more spread out, and Keenan was a little more bunched.
Keenan is definitely one of the longer, I should say, climbers in the finals. So. Nick Milburn is a great guy. I've known Nick since he was a young kid over at Stone Moves in Houston, and
yeah, because he's from Texas.
He's from Texas. Yeah,
I forget that all the time.
a lot of Texas nationals here, but yeah, Nick I've known since I was a young kid, and he just continues to get better and better. Very humble guy. You can never write him off. So
one of the sweetest.
Oh,
for
Ty.
sure.
Ty's having a hard time latching that little jump move. So this one's tricky. You kind of you think you want to peek out and see where the hold is, but you can't quite. So you look at it and you kind of take a guess.
Oh, Ross on the number 10 bonus. Whoa,
Ross look at those lats.
So smooth.
Ross is looking jacked. Man,
it's kind of hard when you're falling off the beginning of boulders, but with this bonus system, at least I know when I'm climbing, all I'm thinking about is I need to get to the next bonus. Like, It doesn't really matter so much if you top. You're just like, if you haven't gotten to a bonus, you want to get to the one you haven't gotten to.
Is it fair to say that the new scoring system has changed the mentality of a lot of climbers?
It's totally. I mean, I think it has totally changed the mentality.
Strategy,
also,
maybe?
It's interesting because we can now, as competitors, see the scoreboard.
Yes, that's
so you kind of know what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going into like. So we're going to have Brooke going into the 4th boulder.
We're down to
she
under a
can
minute
see
now. So.
What she needs to do on this boulder to get herself into first place currently.
Yeah, Joel and I were talking. That's a whole new element that some climbers have a hard time with, and some climbers don't.
I mean, I bet some people don't look at it, but I think it's really good strategically. I don't know. The last competition, I feel like I saw Alex see the boulder. Or not see the boulder, I'm sorry. I saw Alex see the scoreboard and be like, okay, I need to flash the 4th boulder. Like, that's what I need to do in order to at least get 2nd place. And she just went out and did that, and it was amazing to watch.
Keenan is just giving it his all right now. Look at him float this.
He really makes this beginning
and
look so easy.
Ty hopped on as well, so this is very, very interesting. You don't see this very often. But this is Ty's last boulder. So
yeah, Ty has nothing to lose at this point. He might as well. Oh, he's done.
It looks like he's done.
Oh, Keenan.
And Keenan's off
giving it all he got.
Well, I hope the crowd gives Ty and Keenan a good round of applause.
Puccio is out on number 1.
Is that who we have out? So we're coming down to our final competitors. So Puccio and Nathaniel Coleman should both be up next. So Puccio's out now, and Nathaniel will be out next. So who do we have on number 2? Is that Kyra?
Number 2, we have Kyra.
Okay.
Obviously on the boulder really quick. She likes to get after it right away.
Yep.
And they do say that she is the speedy climber. But you know what I noticed? It's not that she's moving so fast, it's she never stops moving. So it looks like she's moving super fast, but really she's just doing tiny movements the whole time.
Kyra always impresses me.
She's so impressive as a climber. It'll be interesting to see Alex on this first climb. As long as she can get past this run and jump, she's got it, in my opinion. I think run and jumps are probably the only thing that she is not as confident in. I mean, I personally think she can do them no problem.
Oh, no.
Just like I said.
Yeah.
I think she can do them no problem, but she has to believe in herself.
That is she is going for it right now. So, yeah, with that spinal fusion, I know Puccio sometimes has a hard time looking back, so please keep that in mind. She is one of the top female climbers, but, yeah.
I mean, she's one of the best climbers in the world.
Yeah, and not only at this moment, ever. So, you know, this is-
Ashima
oh, here we go.
looking solid on women's number 3. That's the most control I've seen on that hold so
She
far.
is looking light and tight. Come on,
Oh,
Ashima.
come on, Alex. You got this.
Oh, wow. Grabbing onto a foothold right now.
Very
wow.
smart. Killing it.
Oh, my goodness.
See if she can get to 15. This is such a climb that is
oh, and
so,
oh
so
gosh.
well suited
and
for
she
her.
is chalking out right now. Chalking up, I should say. Wow. So, oh my God.
This is so impressive. I've never seen a climber with such good body control.
Yep. There it is. This could be it, guys. This could be your first women's top. Oh,
think
now
we're gonna
she's just
see
showing
it.
off.
Or just like really making sure her
Yeah.
hands aren't sweaty. It is humid here in Texas.
It
There we
is
go.
humid here in Texas.
Yes.
Wow.
First top
and
of
let me just
women's
make this a
number
point.
3.
She grabbed the bad part of the hold. There is an indent in that hold, and she just skipped it. She said, forget you, I'm strong.
Ashima is such an interesting climber to watch. She's so
Yeah.
flexible. She understands movement so well. And on top of that, she's just super strong. So
That was it
very
looks like,
impressive to see her on that
that
climb.
was amazing. It looks like Alex is getting a little frustrated on it, but like I said, if she sticks the move, I think she's taking it to the top.
Oh, there is no doubt in my mind that she will send this boulder as long as she sticks that move. And it doesn't really matter. Like I said, it's not about tops. It is
Nope.
about points. So
she'll keep
I can
it
see her
together.
topping
Yeah.
every other boulder. So
Agreed.
I'm not worried about her.
Yeah, one thing that I think Megan and I know is that you can never, ever count out Alex Buccio.
Oh, no. Never,
Never.
ever.
If
That's not allowed.
If I'm correct, she's a 9-time ABS national champion.
You are correct.
Yeah,
I
so-
think the only one to beat her was Eula Verm.
You're Verm, and
From
that was
Germany.
a foreign national, so we had to bring in the overseas gals, and even that was a close competition. There was no doubt. So, oh, I'm sorry, I stand corrected. She was actually 10-time national champion.
Yeah, Alex is definitely kind of one of a kind in our sport. She's definitely paved the way for a lot of women, sending so many hard boulders outside, as well as just killing it on the comp scene. One of the first girls to go overseas and compete in the World Cup bouldering circuit multiple years in a row and have a top 10 ranking. So I think she's inspired a lot of the girls that are climbing in this competition currently. So I bet they're all really excited to be out there climbing with her.
And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong right now, but she's been spending some time in Waco, and it seems like her Project Terre Mare is getting pretty close.
Yeah, she has been spending some time in Waco,
Yeah.
and I mean, I have complete faith in her that she will do that boulder.
I have no doubt she'll do it either.
There we go.
There we go. That's all it took.
And she's gonna
There's a very, very, very high
eat
chance
these
she's going to send this
holds
boulder.
for breakfast or
Yep.
dinner.
Or dinner.
I should say.
Megan, come on, get
I
your
know,
time.
it's dinner time.
zone.
I
know
like
Colorado's
breakfast way better.
We all like breakfast. Yeah, that's the fun thing about Austin is we've got a lot of 24-hour breakfast
Yes,
places.
that is so
Uh-oh,
true.
like we said,
Here we go.
done.
Alex Puccio.
Uh-oh. What did I see just happen?
Did she not match that hold?
I'm a little unsure about what may have just happened.
Did she fall or let go? I'm honestly unsure.
Top for Kyra Condi. Let's not forget about the other competitors.
Very nice for Kyra.
Kyra with an amazing top. So
And
I'm a little unsure about just...
I think Alex, or I know Alex did not match that final hold,
Okay.
so she's going to end up with 15, or really 14 point
yeah, point
something.
Points, yeah,
on
however
that.
many attempts it was.
I don't know,
We're
because she
still
ran
working
at
through
that
the scoring
wall.
system.
Well, it's hard to tell, too, because it's not like it was a full boulder. She was
Sure,
just doing
sure.
the beginning, so it's easy to get back on the wall so many times on the very first move.
So this is where it gets really interesting because we've seen girls top number 1 and we've seen girls top number 2. So
And number 3 now.
yeah, that's correct. Number 3. Did Ashima top number 1?
She flashed
She
number
flashed
1
it. So
and number 2.
Alex is definitely going to need to step it up and take care of business if she wants to win this thing. But you know,
Yeah, it's definitely not over.
no, it's never over with Alex.
Ooh,
So
Nicholas.
we got looks like we got Ross Fulkerson on number 3 and
Keenan sticking the jump.
Keenan looking good over here. So we have yet to see a top on men's number 3. But Keenan can
Or
very
number
well
2.
or number 2. That is correct.
Nathaniel Coleman just stepped out onto men's number 1, and he is cruising through this climb. I expect nothing less from him on this climb because it's
So his
in
style,
his wheelhouse.
Yeah. I think
He's a very powerful
we've seen one
climber.
top so far on men's number
And
one.
it was a flash from
It was a
Keenan,
flash from Keenan.
who looks like he's about to.
There. Oh, my
no.
God. Similar falls. No doubt these guys will get back on and finish the boulder, though. I have ultimate
Definitely
faith.
with 3 minutes and 30 seconds
Yep,
left
absolutely.
on the clock. Nathaniel Coleman came out of nowhere a few years ago,
Yep.
winning the Vail World Cup, which was so impressive.
That kind of started, and I think he took second in Toronto.
Yes, he had a great
He had
World
a great
Cup
World
season
Cup
that
season.
year.
Probably, I would arguably say probably maybe one of the best for any males from the United States.
I 100% agree
Yeah.
with you. I don't think any male has ever had that much success in the World Cups. It's definitely a different ball game.
I know a lot of males in the United States feel like it's not worth it or whatnot, so I really admire Nathaniel for putting himself out there and going for it.
Yeah, it was really cool to see not just women in the World Cups
Sure.
and see more men in it, and like having a male win
Yep.
the World Cup. That was amazing.
Yeah, Nathaniel has been a big inspiration for a lot of people. So I know, now anytime anybody sees him on the list, it's people want to start coming out and seeing him. So we have a lot of big names in this comp, as Meagan can probably attest to, as she competed yesterday, and so it's been a treat for Austin to watch these climbers.
Yeah, I think everyone's been really excited to see all of the big names here, because I don't think people get out to Austin as much as they maybe should, because it's a pretty cool city. But it's really cool to see everyone out here. And we have Nicholas Milburn on number 10, on men's number 2.
There we
Very
go, looking
smooth.
strong.
Very good tension there. Setting up for the jump.
Is he going to do it? Could this be the
Come
first
on.
top? Whoa, so
Definitely
close.
the closest, I think.
That looked like I thought he might have had it right there.
It's very tricky, because I think in order to grab that hold, 1, you're going to need to go 2 hands. 2, you're going to need to be pretty high up on it.
Yeah, so one of the funny things about that hold is it's actually got a couple of dual text spots on
On
it.
the
So if you
side.
don't grab it right, you are off. So it looks like we have Keenan and Ross in action right now.
Keenan back up to where he was earlier.
Yep.
I think Ross still needs to control number 15.
Keenan looks like he's just floating right now. So I think he may do it right here.
Yeah,
Tries to get on
he
it.
didn't have enough pop the last time he went
Yep.
to that finish hold, so hopefully he fixes that.
He's going for it. You can tell right there. Oh, no,
my
Keenan.
goodness. Nathaniel's back on the wall too.
Yep, everyone's okay. Ross is off the wall, so we've got Nick on the wall, and let's see if Keenan decides to give it another go. Like I said, these walls are tall, and when you're going for it, it can make some of the strongest males feel a little nervous. So
Nathaniel's looking really good on men's number 1 right now.
could Nick do it?
Oh, see, 2 hands.
I think that's the key, Megan. I think
I
you're
think
right.
he has it this next time.
That was by far the closest I've seen anyone so far. So.
He's definitely around the right height, I think, to have an advantage on this one. I think he's about like 5'10".
Oh, no. Nathaniel's
So-
fallen off number 1.
Or Nicholas is, yeah, he's 5'10".
5'10".
So it's probably a little more helpful than maybe being around 5'8" or something.
So here we go. We've got 2 guys with the clockwise. It's Keenan, last man standing right here.
Oh, down to the wire.
Come
The
on,
drama.
Keenan. This is exciting. It's not 4+. Remember that. It's 4.
He's got to be able to match before that clock
Oh,
runs out.
no.
Oh.
Props
So
to
close.
Keenan Takahashi for just going for it. All right, guys. So Meagan Martin is signing out, and we've got Joel Zur hopping back in. Thank you, Meagan, for some wonderful insight. And hi, Joel.
Hey, Kevin, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thanks, man.
What were you doing? Where were you?
I was just hanging out.
Hanging out, or downstairs or upstairs?
I was downstairs for
Yeah?
a little bit, watching the action.
How's the scene down there?
Oh man, it's amazing. It's going
amazing?
off. People are getting real hype.
Good.
Oh yeah.
It's been pretty impressive. We've seen people just going for it. Let's talk about Ashima. That was
oh
amazing.
man, making a run for it.
Making a
Yeah.
run for it.
Looking real smooth.
Yeah, we were talking about Puccio. She didn't quite finish off number 1, but you can never ever count her out.
Yeah,
Never.
it's true. You know, unfortunately, those running jumps for her can sometimes trip her up.
Yep,
and
yep.
She spent a little too much
Uh-oh.
time, I think, trying to sort it out.
Sort it out. Yeah. Here we go. Sorry to interrupt, Joel, but I think we might see a second top. Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
Kyra Condi grabbing the good part of the hold.
Looking solid up there. Oh, no, just dropped it at the last second there.
We are. It looked like Kyra had it, and then she may have tried to get a little too much in there. So
yeah, kind of maybe rushed it a little too much there.
Maybe rushed it a little bit. Yeah, I agree. So right now we've got 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, and we've got Ashima pulling on number 4. So
trying to figure out that jump move there, huh? On 4. Have we seen anyone stick that yet?
We've seen some people stick it for sure. It's a lot of contact strength though. But if anyone can do it, Ashima is one of them. So let's see. There we go. Oh.
Alex is working her way over here through the slab on women's 2.
Yep. Looking pretty calm right now.
Kind of keep it together after.
So for those of you
that first boulder.
Yeah, for those of you that can't see it, those seams are not on for hands, but they are on for feet. So just keep that in mind when watching the show. Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens, Joel. It's turning into a pretty fun round.
Yeah, a lot of exciting falls, a lot of exciting finishes.
Yep.
It's been a pretty good show so far.
So if I am correct, we have yet to see a top on men's number 2, and I don't think we've seen a top on men's number 3 either. Everything else has seemed to be topped. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay.
Someone topped men's 4.
Men's 4.
And I forget.
Remind me which one that is.
That was the. That's the one where they jump around the corner.
Yeah, that
volumes.
was. I want to say it's Carlo. I think Carlo might have topped that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Once again, it's hard to remember. We've had so many great competitors, but we have definitely seen a top. So
very cool.
We're still waiting for a few tops, but it could very well happen right here. Oh,
nice,
close,
Alex
close.
sticking the balance move
There
across
we go.
on the bubbies.
With Alex, she may very well do it right here. Yep, pure power, pure power. Yeah, the crowd is going nuts right here. It's kind of hard to hear, to be honest. So Alex is looking strong, and let's see what she does here.
Who wants to see a top come out of Crucio right now? Who wants to see a top?
2 just world-class climbers right now up on the wall. Pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah, for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, you've arguably got 2 of the best female climbers in the world on the wall right now. So, and let me tell you right now, that number 25, there's nothing there. So you are standing up. Alex is looking strong. Chalking up, no big deal.
She just needs to get that other foot up.
Yep.
So she can stand and just really
there
balance.
We go. She knows exactly what she needs to do.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Switching feet there.
Okay.
Interesting decision.
With lats like that, you can do whatever you want.
Exactly.
Yeah. Chalking out, no big deal. Come on, Alex. Yep.
Oh, wow, look at
That's
that. Look at that. Awesome.
Oh,
Really
a little piano matchup there.
She really needed that after that first boulder too, right, Kevin?
Definitely needed that, Joel. Yeah, it's a pretty fierce competition right now for both categories. Are we able to pull up scores by any chance? There we go. Perfect. So we got Keenan Takahashi in first place right now with Carlo right behind him. So
and the dark horse Gregor.
Yeah, Gregor's in third place
wow.
as well, and all these guys are in first place for women is Ashima and Claire and Brooke. So it's coming down to it right now. But like I said, the comp is not over. Alex just finished number 2, so she's still got 2 more boulders. So the game's kind of wide open right now.
Yeah, by the look of it, it seems like still anything can happen.
Yeah.
Alex was only 10 points behind where she wanted to be, ideally after that first boulder, but then she topped number 2. So
she did.
She's still in the game, in my opinion.
Was that a flash on number 2? Or second
no,
go?
I believe that was her second
go. Okay.
So.
It's hard to keep up, guys, with all the action going on.
So much happening at one time.
And it looks like we have Nathaniel Coleman on number 2. Maybe the start's giving him a little bit of trouble here. It's definitely it's not a gimme by any means. It's a little bit of trick. We'll see if Nathaniel can pull it out. All right, and it looks like Nick Milburn is sizing up men's number 3. This thing has not seen a top yet, but would not be surprised to see Nick do it. Yep. Many have tried, and no one has succeeded.
Nick up on the crimps now, hoping to make his way that match to get set up correctly.
So right now, I think he may have his hands a little twisted, but you never know with Nick. That boy can do a lot of things. He is one of the few climbers in the world that has climbed 8C, which is V15.
Yeah, he has a very unique climbing style too.
Yeah,
huh?
agreed. We were just talking, Megan and I were talking, he's been in Colorado, and now it looks like he's in Tennessee for a little bit. He's got a pretty diverse skill set. He can climb on sandstone, he can climb on granite, so. And he's a seasoned competitor. He's been competing since he was a young kid. I've been setting for Nick since, God, I don't know, since he was, I don't even know, since he was a young boy. So it's been fun to watch him grow up.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those that really impresses me in terms of competition, just because there's so many factors in this game that it makes it extremely hard to be consistent. And he's a consistent finalist, man. In most competitions that I see him at, he's usually like one of the top guys in finals. So
yeah,
pretty rad to see.
I agree. I think one of the things that Nick that really sets him apart is just his mental game. Whenever you see him, he's kind of always just joking around or having a good time. I think he just loves climbing, and he doesn't really think too much more past that, and that's an important thing to have. So I think Nick's mental game is great, and you can clearly see it. He never seems too upset or too angry, so
yeah, he has a very relaxed approach, I'd say.
Yes, agreed.
It's very
So
true.
Nathaniel is working through the slab right now. Nick is still trying to figure out what's going on over here.
Nathaniel's our current national champion for bouldering.
Oh, no. Good effort, Nick.
Come on, Nathaniel. 8 wants to see it. Get it done, buddy.
Looks like he's up on 15. This is his first time up here, I believe. So
Yeah, I
let's see
believe
if
so.
he
It
can
looks
just
like
get
he's
it
working
done.
through the motions right now. I would love to see a top on this thing. It's no joke. But if anyone can do it, Nathaniel Coleman. All right, here we go. Get excited, guys. This could be it. Right here. It's right there.
Oh, so close.
And as I was telling Megan a little earlier, that hold is it's good, but it's got some dual tech, so you kind of just everything kind of has to click. Everything kind of has to click for you to stick that hold. So.
And we got Ross Fulkerson on men's 4. Another one of the dark horses in this round. Kind of one of the familiar faces that I've seen at most of the national cups so far this season, but definitely a younger competitor that's kind of up and coming. So it'll be exciting to see what he can do throughout the rest of the Cup Series and at our national championships this year.
Exciting times. Here we go. We got 1 minute left. Did you see Meg? Did you get to see Meg? No. Oh, okay. She was interested.
Nick Milburn still working it out on men's 3. Nathaniel Coleman up on men's 2 again, going for that finish hold, eyeing it up.
Could
Here
this
he
be
goes.
it? Oh, my
and that's
goodness.
it. Nice.
Oh,
The
my
crowd's just
God.
freaking out. Oh, wow.
That was absolutely incredible.
That was a great send by Nathaniel.
I've got
Wow.
my family over here to the right, and they are freaking out. So that was incredible.
Wow.
That is the first top on men's number 2, but impressive.
So there's only one boulder in this round that hasn't been topped. Is that right, Kevin?
That sounds right.
Men's 3.
Men's 3 has not been topped yet. So, but like I said, Nick could be that guy.
Really great round. A lot of skills being tested here.
Yeah.
A lot of diversity and movement. It's really exciting for these guys. Really getting to showcase some amazing talent and skill here.
Yeah, Joel is an amazing route setter. He's been doing it for a long time, but I think Joel can kind of speak to it. The goal, the goal is to see tops on every boulder, but you definitely not by everyone. But yeah, you'd like to see at least one person top a boulder and then split them up with attempts. So yeah, if we see number 3 topped, I think that makes for the perfect night.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you want to see the boulders get done. That way, if you're a spectator, it's nice to know that the boulder is possible.
Yep.
As a route setter, you know there's never a move that doesn't get done during the forerunning for or the testing of the boulders. So, but yeah, the spectators can't know that unless they see somebody get up it. So
Agreed.
it's always nice to see them get done by somebody. And I think in this round, what's really exciting about it is different things are getting done by different competitors. So
Agreed,
it
yeah.
really is showing that there's a lot of diversity here and a lot of different skills being tested. So.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that point up, Joel. One of the interesting things is here as a route setter, you have to be able to do, when we go into route setting, we don't expect to send the boulder in its entirety, but our goal is to make sure that the moves go.
Yeah.
So these moves have gone, but after a brutal qualifying round, and then you've got pressure from hundreds of people in the crowd cheering you on, and the lights, it gets tough. So we know the moves go, but ultimately we're trying to reward the people that can contain the outside noise, if you want to call it that, and just focus in on the climbs and get it done. So.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many factors to having optimal performance in a round like this, and definitely being able to block out the distractions is a skill that these climbers have to develop over time. And
yeah, it looks like Alex is having fun with it. It looks like she was trying to get the crowd psyched up, and that's what we like to see. At the end of the day, there's money on the line, but yeah, you got to have fun with it. This is a fun sport. The community is amazing, so kudos to Alex for getting the crowd psyched. Looks like she's cruising up so far. I think we may have only seen one top on one top.
Yeah, Kyra just about had it on that one
Yep.
go. Fell matching the finish.
So Alex is looking strong. She could very well. Those pinches are
Keep it
not
together
good.
Here.
Looks like we could see it right here, Joel.
Nice, and she's up on 15, looking solid right
She's
now.
looking very strong. Yep. Could we see it right here?
We could see it.
All right,
Just has
figuring it
to-
out.
And there it is.
There it
Very
is.
smooth. Wow, so it really is wide open now. If she can finish the last boulder, she might be able to take the win
Yeah,
still.
this is a big deal,
I'm not
guys.
exactly sure where the scores lie right now in terms of falls and points that have been deducted.
Yeah, can we pull up the scores right now, guys?
But that'd be interesting to see.
All right, so Keenan, Takahashi, Carlo, and Greg are still 1, 2, 3 right now. Not much has changed there, and let's see what's going on with the women. Still waiting for the women, but it'd be very interesting to see. There we go.
There we go. So Ashima, maybe they haven't been updated yet. It's
Yeah, it looks
showing
like they still
Ashima
need to be
and
updated a
Kyra,
little bit, but
and
so we'll get you those updated scores as soon as they become available. But we've only seen 2 tops, and Alex made that. I don't know, Joel. She made that look pretty easy, to be honest.
yeah, I think maybe after that second boulder, it kind of boosted her confidence.
Good.
And got her head back in the game. But it's hard after you're coming out and getting kind of stymied by the first boulder, and then unfortunately she stepped on a hole at the very last move, matching the finish.
We were trying to figure out what was happening.
Yeah,
there,
so there's a hold under the roof on that boulder that's actually on men's 4, and there's a black tape boundary, and she wasn't supposed to step across that boundary, and she knows the rules, so it was her mistake as a competitor. She should know better. It's not that obvious, but you just need to be paying attention when you're out there.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Joel. So there are some technicalities in rock climbing. It's not a free-for-all. So with the black tape, it's if you step over it or touch anything past it, you are off the wall. So as frustrating as that may be for competitors, they know the rules and they have to kind of adhere to them. So
exactly,
it's a tough game. It's like we said, it's kind of a game of inches. So, but yeah, Alex with an impressive ascent. So let's see what Kyra's able to do on this boulder.
Just a brutal start to women's 4, huh?
So I think I'm wrong, actually. We said that men's 3 is the only one that's not topped. It looks like women's 4 has not been topped either, if I said
that's
correctly.
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So we have 2 boulders that haven't been topped yet, but Kyra could very well do this, and this is definitely in Alex's wheelhouse.
10 seconds.
Oh, no. Okay, so Kyra's time is coming to an end, but what a performance by Kyra. Always fun to watch.
Now the men coming back out.
Yep.
You got Nathaniel on men's 3 now.
Yep. And
that one still is yet to see a top, so let's see if he can do it.
Yeah, Nathaniel, if anyone's going to do this boulder, Nathaniel could do it. So, I'll tell you this. If he does it, I may start yelling into the microphone. The crowd's definitely going to go wild. So, but here we go. So this is this he the only male out? No, we have Nick on men's number. I stand correct.
Yeah, these are the last two men,
are the
I
last
think,
two
right?
men,
Nick
yeah.
Milburn and Nathaniel Coleman.
That is correct.
Both of them, been in the comp scene for a while.
Yep.
Nathaniel's been competing for 11 years. He's from Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said earlier, he's our current national champion for bouldering. Yeah, he's definitely no stranger to hard pulling on plastic.
Yeah, one of the things that Megan and I had the opportunity to talk about is Nathaniel during the World Cup season and how he just totally stepped up. So, not a lot of males or females get involved in that, but Nathaniel took it very seriously, and I think ever since then he's just gained a confidence, and you can see it in his rock climbing.
Yeah, it's really cool to see someone like Nathaniel too. He has a very powerful style. He's I would say for competitive climbers, he's on the bigger side.
Yep, absolutely.
He weighs about 160 pounds. He's 6 feet tall. So it's pretty impressive to see him be able to,
and he's done
pull on some small holds, and
but
be
he's
able
also
to
done some
do it
pretty
all.
hard things outside. If I
Absolutely.
remember correctly. Did he do? I may be wrong, but did he do Warpath?
He did, yeah.
He did
that. I think 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years ago. So
yeah,
this
he
was
was
kind
still
of before.
Still kind of coming up then.
Yeah.
And he's kind of a low key guy, so I don't know if many people really knew about him unless you were kind of in that Salt
look
Lake
at that.
scene. Nick Milburn sticking the jump there.
So this M4 is a Garrett Greger masterpiece, and Nathaniel looking good as well. But yeah, Warpath is a great route in the City of Rocks in Idaho, put up by James Litz. It's no joke. So Nathaniel can climb indoors, outdoors, you name it. Nick Milburn has also climbed very hard. He recently did Paint It Black in Colorado, which is V15. So both these climbers are some of the best in the world. And Nick looks like could do this boulder. I would love to see a double top right now. That would
Nathaniel
be amazing.
sticking the shoulder move there.
Not easy.
Both these guys.
Come
just,
on.
Oh, no.
Good effort by Nathaniel.
Oh.
So the verdict's out on this one. I've seen people match it and try to go up, which could very well be done, or you just get it up. And let me tell you right now, that blue foot under number 10 is not good. So, to be able to send this boulder, you need to be powerful, but also be kind of a technician.
So what they're trying to do there, Kevin, is get that right foot up, match that hold that they're doing the move out left on to set up for the finish.
That sounds correct. I've seen both ways done, but I would say the path of least resistance will be definitely to match number 15 and just, shoulder it up and go for it. The number 25 hold is very good. But yeah, that foot that you're standing on is nothing. It's close to nothing. So I'd be very impressed to see anyone do that route. Obviously, we always hope to see someone do it, but you have to keep in mind, he had to climb boulders before this. He had to climb boulders last night. So it's always kind of a gamble with these sorts of things.
Yeah, these athletes may look superhuman and do some superhuman things, but they do get fatigued.
Yeah, they do, and that's something to keep in mind. It's easy to sit back and say, "Oh, I could do that, I could do this," but these climbers go through a lot, so mentally and physically.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, it's always fun. These boys are both on the kind of the same distance, and I'd love to see them double send right here. That would send the crowd into an absolute frenzy. Yeah, I'm sure you can hear it right now. People are yelling. Could we see it right here?
He's just got to get his
Oh,
foot
no.
up there.
He's got to...
Come on, Nathaniel.
Okay, we have
There.
not seen that yet.
Okay.
We have not seen the heel. Can he do it? Wow. Uh-oh.
Oh, wow.
Wow, we have
Whoa,
not
that was
seen it.
crazy.
Yes!
Whoa. Good for
Incredible.
Nathaniel. Wow. Great job. That was...
I don't know if you guys can hear it, but that crowd went absolutely... The crowd went I'm wearing noise-canceling headphones right now, and I took them off for a second, and boy,
Still
oh
hear
boy, it is loud in here.
That was some great execution there.
That was...
really kept it together.
And that
Wow.
shows you how many climbers have been on the boulder, and every little detail can change the boulder. So congratulations to Nathaniel for just being a good climber. That was amazing to watch.
Yeah, really good technique there too, man. That was impressive. Just how slow he had to pull his left foot up and keep tension on that heel. Yeah, I would say Nathaniel is.
He's clearly been doing his core workouts.
Yeah, he's been training, obviously.
Yeah, what is it, P90X? He's been doing that. So that was.
Yeah, Nathaniel, share with the group, man. What's your program?
Yeah, what's your program? So I think Joel, have we seen tops on it? No, we have yet.
We haven't seen a top on women's 4.
It's 4, and if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be Miss Alex Puccio.
I think she can do this one. We'll see what.
Yeah, so
happens
this
here.
is a cool climb. It's a little more. It's not quite as tricky as you would think.
Just kind of a pull and go.
Pull and go. Yeah, we like to have a little mix in our thing. So obviously some tricky slabs. That the run and jump that gave Alex problems, but she may just eat this thing up. So let's find out. No problem.
Sticks the first move there.
That move gave a lot of women some hard times.
Nice. Smooth on the double clutch there.
All right, here we go,
really,
guys.
Really good.
This could very well be it. Stay tuned.
Locking in the heel, and we know Alex is really good on her heels, so
yeah, make
she's
sure
in a really comfortable position right now.
Make sure to take some photos if you're here. Make sure to hashtag the Violet Crown. This is a big one, guys.
Really locking it in, chalking up, setting up for this next move.
Oh God, here we go, guys. Yeah, she knows what she's doing. This thing is nothing. This is a bad crimp.
Wow.
Woo. So if you guys
really great effort there.
If you guys don't know, fun little fact, Meagan and I have talked about it, but Alex's current project is Terramare.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the hold she's throwing to on number 15 is thin. It could very well be something that you see on a problem like Terramare. So
yeah, so she's definitely built up the skin and finger strength for this last boulder here.
It was funny. I had a conversation with Alex the other day. I said, "How's your Waco trip going?" And she said, "Oh, I haven't done anything, but I think if it's under V13, she likes to think it's no big deal." But
yeah, we're to the rest of us.
Yeah,
it'd
to
be
the
like
rest of us,
the best trip of our lives.
Exactly. So I could very, very well see Alex doing this. So I think current high point it seems right. That might be the current high point right now.
Yeah, it could be.
So this will be really interesting to see how this whole thing shakes out.
Hopefully she's able to pull this one out of the bag. We can see all the boulders get sent. Be a pretty perfect
that would be the
round.
perfect round. Agreed. Yeah, we had no ties going into finals, which is always kind of a route setter's dream. But ultimately, as a route setter, you kind of always want to see your boulder topped by one person. So yeah, let's see if it happens.
Hyping up the crowd now, getting everyone involved.
Alex has always been quite the
smile on her
show
face.
woman, and I know people appreciate it. So
just having fun with it.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. Exactly, Joel. I'm glad you said that. All right, here we go, guys. This could be the perfect round of bouldering right here. Let's see if it happens.
There we go.
Looking
back
strong.
Up in the double clutch.
Let's see if we Yep, there we go. The patented shakeout. No big deal.
Really having to crimp hard right here.
Yep. And this is where this is where it gets a little tricky. You gotta, your hands are not where you think they need to be. Okay.
Some try hard right here.
Yep.
Really turns up right here.
Okay, looks comfortable. Let's see if she does it right here, guys. This is a big deal. Wow.
Wow. That was
my God.
Display of strength right there.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Could this be it, guys? This looks like it could be it. Oh my God.
That was so sick. Oh my God. Great job to Alex Puccio.
My friends, I had to take my headphones off.
I don't even know what happened. Like, I don't know what. We'll have to look at the scores, but I'm not really sure.
We don't know yet, Joel, but
it's
I will
really
say
close, and that was a great fight, man.
That might have been.
That's what rock climbing competition is all about.
That is what it is. So congratulations to the route setters for doing a good job. That was incredible. I had to take my headphones off and clap. That was unbelievable how loud it just got.
Wow, what a great finish.
Yeah, agreed, Joel. It's that's a fairy tale finish right there.
Yeah, we still got one more guy to go, but
exactly.
For the women, that was pretty awesome.
I think Dave Graham said it best. Lasco Besco.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Lasco Besco. Incredible, Puccio. She has this ability to just turn it on when the time's right, and she did it, no joke.
It's funny, we when we're climbing outside, several of us have noticed that Alex, when she really turns it on and is tapping into the try hard, she makes this face, and we call it the death face.
The death face.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think she had it right there.
She
if you
might
can see
have
it on
had
the
it.
cameras. And it looks like she's dying.
Yeah. Well, she's dying for a good cause then. 'Cause,
Exactly.
she's putting it out on the line. So insanely impressive. Are you getting some text right now?
Yeah, I'm blowing up over
Yeah,
here.
blowing up, I bet. Yeah, Joel's checking his iWatch, and I'm sure people are telling him, what a show. So, to be able to end this night perfectly, it would be wonderful to see Nathaniel top this thing.
That'd be great.
It's been topped, but yeah.
I think he can do it, man. I think this is his style. I think it suits his strengths well. He loves
Agreed.
jumping.
He loves jumping.
And he'll go for it. He's not going to hesitate on that last move. I don't think
the last move has a tad bit of spice, but the hold that you're going to is good.
So it is in cut. It's not a sloping.
Correct. Yeah, it's it's the Jasper series by Rock Candy, so it's got a little bit of a round to it, but the angle you're going at it, it's good for these competitors. I'm not going to say it's a jug, but for a lot of these competitors who climb V14, V15, it's going to feel pretty good.
Yeah, they might consider it a jug.
Yeah, exactly. For us mere mortals.
Yeah, it's a sloper.
It's a sloper, but yeah, it's got a little bit of bite to it. So let's see what happens.
Man, he's cruising this part. So.
And he's got 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, so he could very well
just
do
styling
this
it so far.
Is this his first go?
This is his first go,
He may just do it right here. No big joke. So you can see it's kind of hard to see. It's kind of peeking around the corner, but he's got to go to it dynamically, I will say. The toe hook, what he was doing on the Jasper, is not the best way to go about this. So, but you never know with Nathaniel. He can do things that most human beings can't.
Yeah, sometimes he pulls out some weird stuff and makes it work, and keeps it exciting for everybody. Oh, wow. Trying to go with a different setup there, keeping the left hand low.
So not to give it away, but it looks like you maybe wanted your left hand there on the innie from So-Il, and you're going to want to go right hand to the Jasper. So he had the right idea there for a moment and then kind of backed away from it. So, but Nathaniel is a smart enough rock climber to know that he needs to reevaluate, and I think he knows what he needs to get done.
Yeah, he's still got plenty of time, too. 2:30 on the clock, so
he's got plenty of time
left.
left.
Still see this happen for
He's
Nathaniel.
psyched.
The bottom didn't really look all that challenging for him, so...
No, I think he knows what he needs to do. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Nathaniel, if anyone's going to do this boulder, it's going to be Nathaniel. He knows what he needs to get done. So, but man, what a photo finish by Puccio.
Yeah, that was really
that was
incredible.
Something special. You don't,
Some serious try hard there.
Yeah, I've been setting for a lot of comps for a lot of years, and that was something that it's hard to beat that kind of feeling. So,
yeah.
Congrats to Pooch. I'm excited to see what happens with the scoring, and let's focus on Nathaniel now. So he's giving himself some time. He's got plenty of time left, about a minute and 45 seconds left.
It must be quite an interesting and unique feeling to be the last competitor out there. You're the only one on the wall.
Yep.
And you know that you can probably still win the thing if you top this last boulder.
And that's the thing, and the scores are posted so they can see where they are. So right now, actually, it looks like, if I'm staring correctly, Puccio's in first place, and Keenan is actually in first place. So if
Keenan Takahashi,
that's
man,
what it looks like right now.
That guy.
So if Nathaniel tops this, he very well could take the lead, but we'll see what happens.
Keenan Takahashi was not a fluke, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
when he came out,
not a one-hit.
His first National Cup Series comp of the season last month at the Dog Patch.
Yeah, not a one-hit wonder.
No.
So he's
sometimes
the real
we
deal.
see that, it's like someone comes out of the weeds and they do really well once, and then it takes them some time to actually develop the consistency with climbing competitions, because it has so many nuances and it is so challenging to be consistent. But
Agreed.
I mean,
it's a lot of mental.
He's showing that he's here to.
Oh my God!
Man, that was.
I hope he gets.
So
I really
impressive.
hope he gets back on here.
He's got 30 seconds. Can he do it in 30 seconds?
So Joel, if you could tell the public. So now that he has 30 seconds. He has to get off when it hits 0.
Yeah, he's.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. If he even sticks the finish with one hand and it's at 0, it won't count. So he's got to kind of hustle.
Yeah.
Which he's speed climbing through this. Oh man,
no.
I don't think he's got enough time now.
Well, let me tell you that I thought he had that, but damn, what a. Sorry about that. But what a.
That would have
been the
so
perfect
close.
night.
Dang. Nathaniel.
What a show, guys. That was an absolute show. So it looks like Keenan Takahashi might have squeaked it out here. We're still waiting for the final results to be tallied, but
Yeah, that
wow.
was the last update we had. See
Yeah,
if
we're
he's
still waiting for the
held
final
it. That would be really impressive.
Can-
Really, really good. Really big deal for Keenan, I think.
Can we get a final update, guys, on the scoring? Okay.
So
Nathaniel
he
did. I stand
he edged
corrected.
him out.
So Keenan actually
79.3.
qualified first at the dog patch, but then couldn't pull it out. But Keenan is now on the podium.
Wow, really impressive, man.
Very impressive. That was an amazing round. So Nathaniel squeaked it out. Keenan's number 2 and Carlos number 3. What a show!
Carlos on the podium again too.
And then look at there. What do we have it there?
Place.
Alex pulled it out.
Wow,
And
that was
Ashima
such
Shiraishi.
a close round. What a great round, man,
And-
for
and-
both men and women.
Yeah, and that's what I'll say about Alex. You know, you can never counter out. You may have looked at her number 1 and said, "This is it. This is the year that she can't do it." But you got to give your hats off to Alex. She continues to impress all of us with her mental strength. So, but congrats to all the competitors. I think they all did wonderful.
Really good show.
Yep.
They really tried hard, and yeah, I mean, pretty awesome to watch and see all these guys
So
compete on the stage.
we're pretty psyched. You guys may not. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see this, but we've got some nice little crowns for the winners. So the violet crown. Yeah. So. John, are we wrapping up? No, not yet.
Yeah, so this part of the night is always pretty cool for the athletes. They get to kind of like share in their experience with the crowd and with family and friends, and get to recount all the highlights in action, and yeah, it's one thing that's really cool about the climbing community in general. It's such a friendly, welcoming community, and I think that's something that's really unique about climbing competitions. Is very rarely in other professional sports do you have the crowd and the audience really get to interact with the professional athletes and actually get to chat with them, talk with them, take selfies with them, etc.
It's great.
It's pretty cool that climbing's like that.
Yeah, you can see it right now. Alex is taking photos with her fans. It's amazing. This is a great community in Austin that we've built. And I feel very grateful that the USA Climbing let us put on this event. But this is amazing. Everyone's hanging out, enjoying themselves. That was quite the show. I can't imagine it going any better. So.
Yeah, that was a pretty good time.
Do I see someone? What's going on here? Signing backs? Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
People are getting rowdy
Yeah,
already.
people are getting rowdy already.
The party has begun.
Party has begun. Austin, Texas, folks. It's a good place to live. So we hope you guys enjoyed the night. Me and Joel will be talking for a couple more minutes, but the show is over. We're just going to be getting ready to do some awards here pretty soon. So, okay.
Oh, and in case you guys aren't totally familiar, after the competition kind of comes to a close, the last competitor gets off the wall, there's always an appeal window where if there was a technical or something like that, someone could appeal a score, a competitor score, and that could change things potentially. So we kind of wait around. Awards don't happen until that appeal window is closed, and then they can have the final results out. So once that closes, then that's when we have our final score. So in the meantime, we just kind of hang out, and everyone gets to socialize.
All right, we're going to be doing it on 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes. They worked so hard for you. All right? Great. 10 more minutes. Give them that love.
Looks like we got Nick Milburn down there discussing kind of the play-by-play of what happened on some of the boulders. Really cool too for the audience to be able to actually like come up close and get to see what all these athletes had to deal with on the wall. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of a very interesting thing. Sometimes it's hard to tell exactly what's going on from the crowd's perspective, or even from like a judging standpoint. When you're judging, you don't really get to fully watch the comp. So some of these like volunteers finally get to kind of interact with the athletes and see what they were doing and look at some of the other boulders. So it's definitely really interesting to be able to get up close and personal and see what these athletes were actually holding on to. And if you aren't familiar with climbing, it is pretty impressive what these athletes can hang on to and move off of and stand on, etc. So yeah, I mean, pretty good time here though. We're getting the party started. Everyone's pretty excited after that show. Looks like the athletes are down there signing autographs. And I think that's pretty good for both Nathaniel Coleman and Alex Puccio, both taking the win here tonight. They've both been in finals at the last two events, so they're both sitting pretty good for the overall title for the national series. Still a lot can happen. We have one more stop after this for the series, and then we have our Open National Championships, which that event will not only crown our national champion as well as decide our U.S. bouldering team for 2018, but will also determine who is the overall National Cup and national winner. So there's an overall as well as a national champion. And something to note is that you can be the national champion without actually winning the overall. Someone could potentially compete in one of these National Cup comps and then not do 3 of them, but then still win the Open Bouldering National Championships and become our national champion. But someone that doesn't necessarily win the national champion or the Bouldering Nationals could win the overall. So there's a lot of different things that can happen. Typically, most of the top athletes do all of the competitions that usually have a chance to win the overall. So it would be kind of a rare situation where that mix-up would kind of happen. But they have an incentive too. There's an extra bonus that gets paid out to the overall winner of the
I think per comp right now it's about $10,000.
Yeah,
so
there's a 10K
the breakdown
purse at
right
everyone.
now is first place gets $1,500, $1,200 for second place, $800, $500, $400, $300, $200, $100. So, even if you're in 8th place, which is 8th place out of a lot of people, you're still making some money. So, I had the opportunity. I had to run to the restroom, but I had the opportunity to go down there, and people are psyched. Everyone is saying what a great show it was. So kudos to the route setters for putting on a great show. Thank you for my co-host Joel for being a wonderful commentator. And,
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's been a wonderful night, and
it really has.
It's good to just see the competitors.
And it's just begun.
It's just exactly. We won't talk about that, but it's been a wonderful night for everyone. It's crazy to see. So we're pulling out the podium, it looks like, and we're gonna crown our male and female winners. I appreciate you guys all checking in. I hope you guys had a wonderful time. It was pretty much, in my mind, it was a perfect round. I think we saw tops on everything except for one, and that's just how it goes sometimes. What a treat. Actually, hold on. Did we see tops on everything?
I think we
did.
Yep, we did.
We did.
Everything got done.
Alex ended up doing the last one.
Yeah,
so
Nathaniel took down the men's
the
third
men's
boulder.
3. So
and
what a
Alex
show.
took down women's 4. So
ultimately, people took their time. They didn't all flash them, and so for a lot of you guys that maybe aren't familiar with route setting, the goal is to be able to see tops, not necessarily by everyone, by tops by a few people here and there, and then making sure that people aren't flashing all your boulders. So it's what we call a perfect split. You don't see ties, you see a good break, and you get to really reward the best climber. So from a route setting standpoint, it's a big deal. There's a lot of stress on the route setters. It may seem sometimes like when you're back there behind the curtain going back and forth, you're going crazy. But ultimately, it's for this kind of stuff. If you didn't add a hold, you didn't change a hold, you didn't change this, you didn't change that, it could totally change the dynamic of the comp. So kudos again to my route setting crew, Garrett, my chief setter, myself, Ben Edwards, and Chris Lacrosto. They were wonderful. So.
Yeah, I think you guys did a great job. setting a lot of diversity here tonight. Really tested the climbers in a lot of unique ways. And I think I agree. I have to agree with you, Kevin. You can't really ask for more than seeing all the boulders get sent, and there being no ties. You know that, and it wasn't like every boulder was seeing many tops. There was a wide range of who was doing what, and a lot of mixing and matching. And so I think that always keeps it interesting. It keeps the crowd engaged, and you know, from a route setting perspective, it's hard to do. It's hard to nail that. There's a fine line between having athletes mix and match which boulders, who's doing what, and which boulders are getting sent, and making it honestly too hard to where everyone's shut down. So it was a really good, really well set round.
And thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. And one of the things that Joel mentioned that was really, it's a fine line. And when I mean fine line, I mean Sharpie fine line. It could be turning literally a hold 5 degrees, and that could make all the difference. So
absolutely,
it was a fun round, and Joel knows better than anyone how hard and stressful these competitions can be. But what a show. These athletes really showed how physically I know how strong these athletes are, but mentally I think that was the big thing for Alex to go in there and and not be able to do number one and then come back and just absolutely dominate is a testament to her mental strength. And then for the males too, Nathaniel did a boulder that no one else was able to do, and that's a big deal. And with this new scoring system, you're able to look over it and see who's beating you, so that adds that extra element of pressure. So it's amazing to see some of these younger folks and how strong their mind is. I competed when I was younger, and it's stressful. It's absolutely stressful, and I don't compete anymore. I now focus solely on route setting. So it's amazing to see some of these young kids and how mentally strong they are. So
yeah, it's I think it's worth noting too, seeing Nathaniel finish that third boulder. I wouldn't necessarily say that was a boulder that I would expect him to do.
Agreed, yeah.
Certainly he's capable of most things someone can set and put on the wall. However, if I were to guess before seeing the competition which boulders he would likely do, that probably wouldn't have been one of them. So it's really cool to see him pull that one out and get it done, and none of the other men were able to.
Yeah, that's a good point, Joel. I think I don't know if it was men's number 2 what you were referring to, or men's number 3?
Men's number 3.
Yeah, so men's number 2 is also a boulder that Nathaniel's known for some of his raw power, but men's number 2 is it's not quite slab, it's a little more vert, but that's also like a very tricky boulder, and for someone that has pure power, that's not an easy boulder to hike. So overall, a lot of these guys have to keep working on things that they may not necessarily be good at or like. So overall, it was awesome to watch these climbers test their limits.
Absolutely.
So it looks like we're getting ready here to do the winners. So we could either pull up the scores, or we could just watch this. Maybe it's better to just watch the live show going on right now. Perfect. So we're about to announce winners.
Yeah, so the scores we saw before, we just got word that they are the final scores. So we know that Nathaniel and Alex both took this one down, and they are the Violet Crown champions.
And for those of you that don't know what the Violet Crown is, it's actually the name of the sunset in Austin. We have purple hues down here.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I was wondering.
There's a lot of, we have a Violet Crown movie theater. We have a Violet Crown, what else? Trail here. But we have some really special sunsets here in Austin, and that's what it refers to. And it's a good comp name. So, all right, here we go. We're getting close to podiums now.
All right,
and like we said earlier, if you made it into finals, you're walking away with a check. So
yeah, they pay all the way out to 8th place, which is really cool.
Which is very cool.
A lot of competitions don't. They might just do the top 3 finishers, or maybe the top 4 or something like that. But USA Climbing's done something really cool there, where they wanted to award all the finalists, because it's hard to earn that spot in the finals.
Agreed.
And they should at least be able to cover their entry fee or something, right?
Well, not even that, but I hope as we grow as a sport, we can make these people, this is their job.
Yeah.
So, very few people can say that, and I hope we can get a couple more people in that position. So right now we're looking at Claire at number 4, Brooke, number 5. Kyra's number 3. Ashima is number 2. And you know who's number 1. So I'm sure the crowd's about to go wild for this one. But what a show, guys. What a show. First official Violet Crown champion is Alex Puccio.
Wow.
Very, very well deserved.
I can't believe she did that last round.
I couldn't believe it either, Joel. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the replays tonight. That was incredible.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
Like just raw, mental, try hard.
That was something different. That was something you don't see from a lot of.
Yeah.
So here we go. We've got our Violet Crown right here.
Oh, she's actually got a crown.
Yeah, we've got a crown.
There you go. Nice.
She doesn't know. That's not a headband, Alex. But congratulations to all the females. They
yeah, congrats, ladies.
incredible feat.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
Everyone showed up tonight.
Everyone showed up tonight.
Yeah.
You know, and like we said earlier, there was plenty of girls in qualifiers that didn't make it that could have easily snuck in and put on just as good of a show. So women's climbing is on the rise, no doubt. So
Yeah,
congratulations.
definitely. Yeah, I think I used to hear the women make comments, you know, in years past where they're like, "Oh, the men's field is just so much harder. Like, there's so many men that can either just even qualify for finals.
Yeah.
That makes it so much more competitive." But I kind of disagree now. I feel like at least this season we're seeing it kind of evenly matched, where it's not just hard for the men, it's hard for the women
No,
too.
agreed.
Like, like it's so competitive now. You have all these young guns that are coming up. It's stacked in both fields, so. It's pretty impressive to see.
And here's the even crazier part too is, you know, a lot of these women could easily go into the men's finals and probably do some of the boulders, and I could say some of the men could go into the women's and maybe not do some of their boulders, and that's what's so fantastic. You know, we had the first female climb 15B this year, which was an amazing feat. We've had females climb V15, so the gap is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So it's a special time. You really can't say that about many sports where the gap is getting that small. So
yeah, these athletes are just becoming so well-rounded too, right? I mean, Margot Hayes at the last National Cup at the Dog Patch, she took the win there.
She did.
In a bouldering comp.
Yeah.
And you know, all the top females were there competing against her.
Yep.
And so, you know, it just shows the diverse skill set. You know, she's known for more sport climbing, competitively and outdoor. And I mean, she showed up that night and took the win. So I mean, yeah, these talented athletes are talented in many ways, not just one aspect of the sport, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, I think, Joel, you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's amazing to watch some of these athletes step outside of their boundaries. Yeah, we had the moon competition, the moon board competition recently, and yeah, all sorts of people were involved in that. And this whole climbing scene, Joel, I don't know what to say, man. I'm getting excited for it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next several years, because I think it's growing so fast, and it's really just gaining momentum every year. And I think we're going to see some really exciting things happen in climbing, and not only competitive climbing, but every aspect of the sport. And I think it's a really exciting time to be a climber and be involved in this supportive, amazing community.
Agreed. So this may be a little bit controversial or political, but one thing I do want to say about a lot of those people that say climbing shouldn't be in the Olympics or this and that, or it's getting too big. At the end of the day, I think, you have to remind yourself, climbing, we all love climbing. We know how it makes us feel. And I would hope that happiness could be translated on to everyone. It brings us a great sense of joy to watch our fellow friends send, and that's an amazing feeling, and I would hope that everyone could feel that way. So, whether you believe in the Olympics or not, or whether you believe in comp climbing or not, let's put that aside. If climbing makes you feel good, you should support those that do it as well. So,
definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, whether you're climbing outdoors and you're doing alpine routes or you're inside pulling on plastic, we're all still doing something that is very similar in a lot of ways and feels very natural. And, it's just to each his own.
Agreed.
For whatever aspect of the sport really brings you joy. But, you know, maybe it is controversial. Maybe it is controversial for climbing to be in the Olympics, but you know, personally, I just think it's kind of cool.
I think it's kind of cool, man.
Who
too.
wouldn't want their sport that their sport that they've kind of centered their
dedicated,
life around?
dedicate their life to. I mean, you know better than anyone. I mean, we take pay cuts. We don't get paid as much. You know, it's
absolutely.
Yeah, you know
it's
how it is.
It's a lifestyle sport.
It's a lifestyle sport, and it's good.
Well, Nathaniel's doing tricks out there on the
Not
podium.
only can he climb, he apparently can skateboard too. But man, what a show that was. I'm excited. Okay. So yeah, it was a really wonderful night, guys. I hope we Joel and I did a good job commentating. It's our first time doing it, so hopefully we get some good feedback. I'll try not to watch the YouTube comments. I know they can be a little harsh.
Yeah, I hope you guys weren't too brutal.
Too brutal.
We did
yeah,
our best here.
We did our best.
So yeah, looks like that wraps up the finals of the third stop of the Cup Series here at the Crux Climbing Center.
Yep.
Be sure to tune in to the last and final stop.
Before ABS Nationals,
Series.
that is.
Yep, before our Open Nationals.
Yeah, our USA, sorry, yeah.
That's January 6th will be the finals in Birmingham, Alabama. So be sure to tune into that for some more action-packed bouldering competition.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time, guys. You know, all these Cup Series just keep getting better and better. So yeah, make sure to tune in to High Point, and on everyone's behalf of Crux, we appreciate it. We put a lot of work into this, so congratulations to the setters, our staff, Grace Nicholas, our marketing manager. Yeah, everyone from the Crux crew did a wonderful job. Everyone from the outside and to the fans. You guys came out in full support. These athletes wouldn't be doing what they would do unless they had a whole crew supporting them. So I really appreciate you guys watching, and hope you had a good night. And if you didn't watch it live, make sure to watch the replay. And yeah, thank you to Louder Than 11 for providing this live stream. This is going to be up forever. So let's keep driving up the hits. Let's keep making sure this is a big deal.